A warm, breezy day in Champaign, Illinois, where Illini fans wonder, can history repeat itself today? The last time Penn State visited Champaign, the Illini jumped to a 21-0 first-quarter lead over a Nittany Lions team that was also undefeated and ranked second in the country, looking to clinch their first Big Ten title. But Joe Paterno's team recovered and put together a 96-yard drive, culminating in the final minute.
They got Tajana Carter on the wing left and in motion to the right, and they give to Bill. Touchdown, Penn State! Yes, sir! Never in doubt!
That 35-31 win, still the biggest comeback ever in the Joe Paterno era. This year, again, their sights set on Pasadena as they bring the nation's longest win streak, 8 in a row, into Champaign against the Illini. Welcome to Champaign. Dave Barnett along with Bill Curry. When they began this season, the Nittany Lions knew one thing. They were set well at running back with Heisman candidate Curtis Enos. He hasn't disappointed anybody, but what they could not have known is what they had in first-year starting quarterback Mike McQuarrie, and what they have this week is the number 4 rated passer in the country.
Joe Pa swears that he knew about Mike all along, that he just knew Mike McQuarrie could pull the trigger. He has certainly done that, very ably aided by the giant wide receiver, number 83, Joe Jaravicius. They list him at 6'5". I think he's bigger. He's 220 pounds, 14 catches, 5 touchdowns thus far.
Now, in a winless start for the Illini, they can trace their problems to just about every position except running back, where the headliner remains their all-time leading rusher, Robert Holcomb.
Robert Holcomb. And when you talk about running backs at Illinois, you're talking about Red Grange, Jim Grabowski, and others. Holcomb has broken all their records, 3,428 yards in 25 consecutive starts. And he'll be there to help young freshman, redshirt freshman Tim Lavery in just his second start against tough Big Ten competition. It'll be exciting today.
Joe Paterno going for career win number 293. Ron Turner, the first-year head man for the Illini, going for career win for the Illini at least, number 1. Number 2, Penn State and the Illini coming up. College football on ESPN2 is brought to you by new Tagamet HB 200 for heartburn. Block acid fast with new Tagamet HB 200.
Spicy food gives me heartburn, but I'm a caterer. I have to taste. If I don't block stomach acid fast, I can't work. Which blocks it faster? Tagamet HB 200. It has more acid blockers than Pepsid AC to block acid faster. Both are strong, but Tagamet's faster. And the pack says it prevents heartburn in half the time of Pepsid AC. Now, I focus on food, not heartburn.
Tagamet HB 200. More acid blockers help block acid faster.
My grandson's a cute kid, but one tough businessman. Hey, buddy, I must have fixed my car.
Upfront pricing? What do you think this is, mister? That new GM Goodrich Service Plus?
What a kid. Got upfront pricing, plus a lifetime guarantee on parts and labor, plus courtesy transportation. New GM Goodrich Service Plus. The little guy was right.
The plus means better.
Call for the select GM dealer near you.
Hi, everybody. Bill Pito in the studio. It is great to have you with us as we get set for number 2, Penn State against Illinois. And later on, as part of our triple header on ESPN2, we'll have number 1, Florida and Arkansas, right here on the Deuce at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We have activity. Miami, Florida State. Sam Cowell. The Miami quarterback came out of the game. Initial report, he had the wind knocked out of him. Scott Covington currently playing QB for the Hurricanes. On the board, FSU's driving, but zip in the first quarter. FSU has not lost in 30 home games since losing to Miami in 1991. Wake Forest and Virginia. Brian Kucklick to Desmond Clark. Touchdown for Wake Forest. That gets them on the board. Virginia has won 13 straight against Wake, but right now they're down 7-0 in the first quarter. We are all set for Penn State against Illinois. We'll see you throughout the game with updates and at halftime. Dave Barnett and Bill Curry with the call. Enjoy the game, everybody.
I want Illinois to pick.
All right, Bill, and back at Memorial Stadium, crowd of somewhere around 50,000 expected on the campus of the University of Illinois. The Illini with an 0-4 start, bringing in the nation's second longest losing streak at 10. And Penn State, as we said, 8 straight wins. That is currently the longest win streak in the nation. Ron Turner in his second year as a head coach, 1 year at San Jose State, now trying to establish what his program will be all about here at Champaign. And for more on that, down to the sidelines and Dave Ryan.
Well, Dave, thanks. Ron Turner is trying to restore a winning program here at Illinois, and one way to do that is establish a brand new motto. This year, it's finish. It's on the back of these T-shirts the players have for practices and for games. Ron Turner says it's not just finishing out the fourth quarter of each ball game, but every drill and every practice, each rep in the weight room, and every exam and paper they have to write and test they've got to take in their classes. Ron Turner firmly believes, Dave and Bill, 100% effort in this program all the way around, from classes to games to practices, will help bring back some winning tradition here in Champaign.
And Dave, of course, fresh from his most recent job, just up the road a bit as the offensive coordinator for 4 years under Dave Wannstedt with the Chicago Bears. Illinois has won the toss. They've elected to defer. And Brett Schuplein is set to kick it off for Illinois. Deep receivers for the Lions, Chris Eberle on the right, number 23, and Shafi Fields, always dangerous no matter where he is on the field, number 2, also back there for Penn State. And into a rather brisk wind. This is from 2 yards deep. Fields bringing it out. And a return to the 20. The Nittany Lions averaging 517 total yards per game behind McQueary, Harris the fullback, and Enos, who has played less than 8 quarters this year, 246 yards, but no more than 85 yards in their first 3 victories. Nastasi Brown, an outstanding tight end with Juravicius. Brown, a couple of years back, the top tight end recruit in the nation out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Fagan, Cole, Conlon, Ostrowski, and Blick, who last year became the first true freshman ever to start on a Joe Paterno offensive line. McQueary has him in the eye on first down, and Enos plows forward for about 3. Tackle made by David James for Illinois. The Illini defense currently 10th in the Big Ten. Thomas, Johnson, McGee, and Weiss up front. Weiss 23 tackles, 5 for loss, and a couple of sacks. He's been the most productive defensive lineman so far. Like Penn State, the strength of this defense is at the linebacker position, where they have Young, James, and Danny Clark. Young and Clark each 32 tackles to lead the squad through their first 4. Juravicius in motion. On 2nd and 7, they try Enos again on the left side. And to the 28 this time, where the stop is made by Fred Wakefield. The secondary for Illinois lacks size and speed. They could be in for a long day. Stargell, Pless, Gussick returns, and Williams. Mike Gussick, with a knee problem, did not play the last 2 games. They really missed his tackling ability because the way things have gone for Illinois, the secondary has been called on to make more than a few tackles. Penn State converting almost half their 3rd downs this year. And they go right to the reverse. Fields with a cutback is at the 40 with a first down. 12 yards, and Bill, they had that pretty well sniffed out. You really can't expect it much better than Illinois did, but they still couldn't make the play.
They had it very well sniffed out. Jeff Weiss, number 53, had contained responsibility. He's up the field. He's in good shape on Shafi Fields, but Shafi, being the athlete he is, cut it back, made the first down.
That'll be frustrating when you see that it's coming and it still goes for play. First pass of the day, sidearm but incomplete, intended for Aaron Harris. Let's get an update from the studio. Bill Pito.
Dave, thank you. Florida State and Miami, and FSU on the board. On 3rd and goal, it's D. Feaster. Far side and in there. Touchdown. 7-0 Seminole.
Hard to get used to the idea that both those teams are not top 10 programs anymore.
Well, those are the things that make football interesting.
Mike McQueary on 2nd and 10, hit as he tried to deliver by blitzing Michael Young. And as yet, no indication. It will remain Penn State ball, although apparently it was not a forward pass. They recover it back at the 33.
This is a blown protection. Michael Young is clean on the quarterback. Either a lineman or the fullback should have stepped that way and picked him up. McQuarrie was not expecting him. That was not a situation where the quarterback had a hot read, obviously. And as a result, he was lit up, Dave.
Josh Mitchell with the recovery for the Lions, who lose back to the 33, and they need 17 yards now. Enos split out wide left. Pressure again, incomplete.
Fred Wakefield, number 99, Jeff Weiss, number 53, beat both of their blockers from the outside. The Penn State pass protection has not been what Coach Joe would like. Great pressure. Weiss is a heck of a football player. I like number 53 for Illinois.
So Pat Pigeon with his first punt of the day. And he sails a nice one. Rob Majoy shows outstanding balance on a 9-yard return of a 47-yard boot by Pigeon. And an Illinois team hoping for a tone-setting series by their defense, and that's exactly what they got. So Tim Lavery in his second collegiate start, redshirt freshman out of Naperville, Illinois, 8 of 31 sacks 7 times in the loss to Iowa last week. Garrett and Holcomb in the backfield. George McDonald Ashford used to be just McDonald. He's now McDonald, Ashford, Cushing, and Willis. McDonald, Ashford, closest thing they had to a go-to guy. A scramble picture up front. Only Ryan Shaw and Marcus Sullivan are in their usual positions. And this incompletion intended for McDonald Ashford, as Lavery wastes no time going to the air. The Penn State defense averaging 340 total yards allowed per game. Brown, Fornattle, Fleischauer, Snyder, the front four. Fornattle, probably the best they've got, although a bit undersized at 246 pounds at tackle. Aaron Collins, Short, and Nelson, all 3 Butkus Award candidates at linebacker. And Collins, not the only Collins on the Penn State defense. Open over the middle is McDonald Ashford for a short gain near the 35. Now, in addition to Aaron Collins, the secondary for Penn State features Jason Collins, his brother, and the last of 5 Collins brothers to play for Joe Paterno. Prater, Lee, and King rounding out the Penn State secondary. There's Jason, who broke a leg and gained 3 2 years ago against Rutgers. Missed all of last season, but has fought his way back to the starting strong safety. On 3rd down again over the middle, and this is good to Holcomb for a first down, gain of 11.
A very important sequence of events have occurred here. The defense has gone out and actually dominated the Penn State offensive line early. The offense has come on the field. 2 nice completions by the young quarterback, who's obviously gifted here for a first down.
Aaron Collins making the play defensively as Holcomb tries the middle with nothing resulting. Fornattle on the tackle. Holcomb with that catch, now tied with McDonald, Ashford, and Willis as the leading receivers on the team. 15 catches for the year. Not only does he gain virtually all the yardage on the ground, 590 coming in. Good for a national ranking of 8th among all ground gainers coming into this game. Limited to 1, 2nd and 9. Josh Whitman, the tight end, in motion. And again, stopped right at the line of scrimmage is Holcomb.
This play is extremely well blocked at the point of attack, but coming off the backside was penetration that causes the play to fail. You see from the backside, Fleischauer comes off the block back of the center and makes the play in the backfield. Otherwise, a nice gain for Holcomb.
Lavery having success throwing over the middle, but so far running that direction, a different story. Well protected. And heads for the sideline. About 5 yards is all he manages at the Penn State 49, run out there by Anthony King, the cornerback.
When Tim Lavery gets a little bit more experience, he'll plant that left foot and cut back inside and fight for the first down. That time he ran straight into Prater and made the play easy for the DB.
So the Lion defense forces Ryan Tabloff's first punt. Senior from Arlington Heights, Illinois. Deep man Chris Eberle for Penn State, standing at his 10. And he watches this one sail into the end zone. 48-yarder. Penn State will again start from its 20.
Get up there on number 2.
Defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky with a word for the Lions. All sport.
Six countries, 36 tracks, and 40 different race cars. And how realistic is Grand Tour racing? Let's just say, be careful.
We drive family sedans, 4x4s, and small city cars. We carry groceries, we carry lumber, we carry life. And we all want to feel safe doing it. Making a lot of different cars and trucks makes us, well, the car company. Making them all deliver the things that matter most makes us GM. The company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors, people in motion.
Need a hand?
No worries, mate. Nothing that a juicy steak and a bloomin' onion wouldn't fix. Want to join us?
What?
Gordon, sorry, gets a little cranky when he's hungry.
For an awesome steak and an Aussie good time, get to Outback Steakhouse.
Let me guess, you're a kicker, right?
No rules, just right.
College football on ESPN2 is brought to you by the company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors, people in motion. And by Outback Steakhouse for an Aussie good time over an awesome steak. Get to Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. Unseasonably warm in the low 80s the last couple of days in Illinois. Second possession. Enos is hog-collared from behind. It was Fred Wakefield who reached up, got a hold of the back of his neck and refused to let go. Redshirt freshman from Little Tuscola, Illinois, limits Enos on what looked like it might be a big gainer to 8.
Very similar to what we said on the Illinois offensive possession. Fred Wakefield came off the backside. The play looked like a long gainer, as you indicated, Dave.
Curtis Enos, who entered the day needing 98 yards for the number 9 all-time spot on the Penn State career rushing list. If he gets that, it would be his best day of the year. McQuarrie has Fields. And a first down to the 39, 11 yards on Fields' first catch. An update from Bill Pito in the studio.
All right, Dave, thank you. Miami and Florida State. Andy Crossland here in punt formation. Can't handle the easy snap. And that leads to a Florida State touchdown pass from Busby to E.G. Green. They missed a point after 13-zip Seminoles.
Penn State, after being turned away rather rudely on their first possession, now starting to move, and it's the fullback Harris with a flag down as Aaron Harris nears the first down marker at the 48. Jack Tights is the referee.
One of Penn State's answers to their pass protection problems is a 3-step drop. We saw McQuarrie set up in 3 steps and very quickly deliver the ball to Chaffee Fields on first down. Then they came back with the run, and we have a flag down, and there's a long discussion ensuing.
Aaron Harris carried that time. As usual. They say comparable, Bill, to Enos, and almost as big. They're both right at around 230 pounds. So some people think the best running tandem in the Big Ten and maybe in the country. And a chop block is the call against the Nittany Lions.
The rules say that you cannot occupy a defender and then block him below the waist. There we see it right on the corner. Right on the corner. Joe Jaravicius, number 83, is the offender. A very good call by the officials. As with many of the rules today, that is in the books in order to protect players' knees. The human knee was not necessarily constructed for football.
And it's a little amazing that nobody had to be helped up after that chop block.
Yeah, well, there was a little limping going on down there.
Mike McGee for Illinois. Fields getting a lot of early activity. Little slant into the 30. Normally, a little Shafi Fields goes a long way. Coming into this game, he caught only 3 passes, but they'd averaged 27 yards. He had run the ball only twice, but for a total of 90 yards, and both had been touchdown reverses of 43 and 47 yards against Temple.
Did not touch the ball in last week's game. He's already touched it 3 times today with excellent results.
And there it is, Penn State looking for 9 in a row, with BYU losing earlier in the year. That is the longest streak still going. Jaravicius has the catch, and they'll give him to the 40. A pickup of 10 for Joe Jaravicius. 6'5", 229 with great speed to boot.
Excellent pocket protection this time by the Penn State offensive line. They could not pull that off in the first series. It'll be important for Illinois to continue to be able to get pressure on McQuarrie if they want to slow up this Penn State offense.
Jaravicius, a tough matchup for most secondaries, but particularly Illinois. They go 5'8" and 6 feet at their corners. This one deep for Fields. He's got it. And Shafi Fields has a 60-yard touchdown.
Coach Paterno told us last night in our meeting with him that Mike McQuarrie just might decide to go up top when he's supposed to hit the tight end on a drag. So we don't know if that route was called or whether or not Mike just decided to put it up. He seems to be well covered. He has just a step on the defender. Great concentration by Shafi Fields. The throw was actually just a little bit short. And once he accelerates, of course, there's no catching him. James Williams was in good shape. All he had to do was bat the ball away, but he could not make the play.
Extra point. And a 7-0 Penn State lead on the kick by Travis Forney. First touchdown catch of the year for Shafi Fields.
Dick, the creator of Miller Lite Advertising, has great news for all football fans. This year, Miller Lite is an official beer sponsor of the NFL. That means that this season will be better than last season. Remember that woman with the huge hair who sat down in front of you while you were trying to watch the game? Well, that's not going to happen this year. Dick says, if you like that, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay tuned.
You worry, you're overprotective, you're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date, so they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
State Farm is there.
Evening, folks.
Evening, officer.
It's time to move along.
Gee, I'd love to, but the car won't start.
This is General Motors car?
Yes, sir.
Try the key. Like I said, it's time to move on.
Virtually every current GM vehicle can go up to 100,000 miles without a scheduled tune-up. The company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors. People in motion.
Shafi Fields, who, as we said, had carried twice for scores, has his first touchdown reception of the year. Sophomore out of Philadelphia has Joe Paterno on top. 5-play drive, covered 80 yards, a little longer than their average possession at 2:31, and their 26th play this year under McQuarrie of at least 20 yards. He has engineered a consistent big play attack, and there's how long it usually takes him to score, all of 2:09.
Yeah, Tim Kish, the defensive coordinator at Illinois, really appreciated our reminding him of that yesterday. He said it's taken him longer this year. We said, yeah, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. He was deeply appreciative of that reminder. We're playing in the Midwest. That wind blows. Therefore, we see the ball held rather than just sitting it on the tee.
And with that wind at his back, Travis Forney with a very high kick, which McDonald Ashford bobbled inside the 5 and fumbles, but recovered by Illinois at the 18.
On the touchdown play, watch Choppy Fields as he heads into double coverage to confirm Coach Paterno's view of his quarterback, Mike McQuarrie, who's liable to put it up most anywhere, no matter what, if he thinks he's got it. Look here at the fullback, probably his first responsibility. Back here, where he threw the ball, we see double coverage. He throws it into the double coverage, which is something he probably should not have done, and the result was a touchdown.
Holcomb takes the toss for about 4, driven out on the side by Shino Prater. And Jim Nelson also there to escort him. An update on the West Virginia Mountaineers with Bill Pito. Bill.
All right, Dave, here we go with Amos Zeraway, the talented sophomore. He's already got 61 yards in the game. That's a touchdown. And on the board right now, 14-0 in favor of West Virginia.
Tough season continues for Terry Shea's Scarlet Knights. Ron Turner can sympathize. Encouraging start because of the defensive stand on the first time they were out there for Illinois. Now trailing by 7. Need to give the defense a rest by grinding out at least a couple of first downs here. Lavery under pressure, incomplete through the hands of Holcomb, who was well covered by Nelson. The pressure was coming from the middle, the nose tackle David Fleischauer.
David Fleischauer applied pressure. It's very difficult to screen against man coverage. Penn State's jumping into a bear defense. The old Buddy Ryan 46 defense. Man-to-man coverage. Nelson on the coverage. He hits Holcomb as the ball is caught.
So Lavery with split backs. Tight end motion from Matt Cushing. And steps up. Fires on the run, and at the 30-yard line, it is complete, and Lenny Willis will have a first down.
Tim Lavery is going to be a superb quarterback. He's one of the most talented high school players that I can recall seeing. What we see here is his ability to scramble, to move with the ball, keep his composure, find the open receiver. Lenny Willis helps out by making an excellent catch. It's significant also that his protection was superb.
Bill, that's what he was not able to do on the last third down, where he also had time and then could have also turned it into a nice gain had he kept it. Give to Holcomb. Nice trap. Good for about 5 to the 35, where he is met by Jason Collins. Steve Havard's first carry as he comes in to give Holcomb a breather.
All right, we have the Bear defense. You can't see it from this angle, but this is an excellent play call by the Illinois coaching staff with down blocking, a backside guard pulling around on Nelson, number 44. Excellent job by J.P. Machado blocking on Nelson, number 44.
As he tries to give it to Havard, a whistle on what may be motion against the Illini.
Redshirt freshman Eric Garrett, number 23.
Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Illinois offensive coordinator Buddy Stevens, the former head coach for 5 years at Tulane.
Machado left a little early, and Eric Garrett, the redshirt freshman fullback, got started forward a little early.
Havard playing the right tackle this time. Quick reacting middle backer Brandon Short, one of the 3 Butkus candidates. You would think that at linebacker U, of all the awards that they give in college football, the Butkus would be one they dominate, but it's one of 2 that they have never had awarded to a Penn State player.
Well, I'm still in a state of shock from being at the field where Dick Butkus played, because he made my life miserable for 10 years as an offensive center in the NFL. I'm sure Penn State will get one of those sooner or later.
Jerry Sandusky has coached 8 first-team All-America linebackers. No Butkus yet. 3rd and 8 for Lavery, who throws that one to his own bench in the general area of Garrett. And watch the movement here by all 3 of these linebackers.
That's right. Collins, Shorter, Nelson does not come, but the protection once again is just excellent. Illinois has improved drastically over a week ago in their pass protection.
Pavlov's first punt sailed into the end zone. A low spiral chased down by Everly. And a 51-yard boot this time, brought back 12. With 3 minutes and 54 seconds in the first quarter, number 2, Penn State, an early 7-0 lead at Illinois.
Watch and weep and laugh and thrill as them bums, the one and only Brooklyn Dodgers, come to glorious life again in 5 new home videos. Roy Campanella, Pee Wee Reese, Duke Snyder, Jackie Robinson, and The Last Trolley, taking you back to a time and place when baseball captured our hearts as never before. To order, call 1-800-717-ESPN. $19.95 each, or all 5 videos for only $89.95 plus shipping and handling. The Brooklyn Dodgers, that's baseball.
Got a game on field advantage.
Want to see a lot of college football? One plan: get cloned. Get tickets and hit the road. Here's a better game plan.
ESPN Game Plan.
Every week, college football games from conferences you can't normally see. Sent right to you.
The ESPN Game Plan. It can't be duplicated.
Check Friday's USA Today for Saturday's game plan. To order any of these great college football games, call your cable company or DirecTV.
About 9:15 this morning, another of Ron Turner's new traditions. This is the Illini Walk. The entire team making their way en masse into Memorial Stadium. Crowded around them, fans, family members, the band. 7-0, they trail late first quarter. As Curtis Enos heads toward the 34. Unbeaten, Oklahoma State hosting Texas. An update now, Bill Pito.
That's right, Dave. Oklahoma State unbeaten, a surprise. Their first big test against Texas, and they're passing the test. Tony Lindsay makes 7-0. Since then, Oklahoma State's gone in. They went for 2. They got it. 15-0.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, Texas down early. 14-0 against Rice last week. Tikas Pettigrew, back from the basketball team for Penn State, is checked in. At one wideout, as Enos will be stopped a yard shy of the first down marker. A little bit of a frustrating start to his season because he has yet to break one for longer than 29 yards. And as we said earlier, has yet to run for more than 85, but that's a product of how easily Penn State has won their first 3 games.
Yeah.
He's rarely in at the end of the third quarter, much less the fourth.
He's chomping at the bit to play a full game and get the ball. And as Coach Ganner said last night, he just hasn't gotten that wide open hole yet. He's inches from breaking many, many times.
Almost behind the line, Enos continues with the second effort, a cost of 40, and we'll have the first with Pless and Stargill making the stop.
To stay in this football game, when Illinois gets a chance like David James, the middle linebacker, number 42, has right here, they've got to produce. He has got to get Curtis Enos on the ground here and force Penn State to punt this football. When Enos was able to pull away from him and make the first, that was yet another big play for this young team.
Tim Kish, defensive coordinator for the Illini. McQueary, play fake, going deep middle. And the catch is made by the tight end, Brad Scioli. Another big play for the Lions. McQueary spilled pretty hard after he delivered it, limping a little bit after a 28-yard strike to Scioli.
One of the best defensive linemen that I've seen this year is 53, Jeff Weiss. That's a good clean hit on the quarterback. And McQueary was shaken. McQueary was shaken by this hit from Weiss, who continues to beat his tackle. And since Penn State flip-flops, that's either Blick or Fagan at any given time. He beats his men outside most of the time.
Enos slips as he tries to cut back, and that costs him any chance for a big gainer. James and Gussick had time to get to it. ESPN2 continues its college football coverage tonight at 6 when the Razorbacks go into the swamp and wrestle with the #1 ranked Gators. Number 1 and number 2 on the deuce today. And then at 9, a whack matchup, the Mustangs of SMU, the undefeated Lobos of New Mexico. Watch all the action on ESPN2, your home for college football. Enos gets just 2. Harris is the lone setback, and he is buried for a loss. Again, David James with a great read.
David's had great reads repeatedly today. He's a fine linebacker. This time, he stays on his feet, runs through the tackle. The penetration is a result of backside leakage. Nice shot from the end zone. The center should have blocked back. The reason the play was made in the backfield is because the backside is not being protected by the offensive line.
And James with his 4th tackle already. Will bring up 3rd and 13. McQueary incomplete for Juravicius, who wasn't close to open.
McQueary used to park cars at Beaver Stadium. He's loved this Penn State program. He's paid his dues. He's waited his turn. Now he's getting a chance to light it up, although he didn't connect on that one.
Lions hesitated just a little bit, then they decide they will send Pat Pigeon on. And he'll try to hang this one straight up and down. But too much on it with that big wind behind it. 34 yards, but a net of only 14. What's happening with Michigan, Bill Pito?
Dave, Michigan has opened up a comfortable lead against Indiana. Wolverines have won 22 of the last 23 against the Hoosiers. Here's Chris Howard, touchdown from 3 yards out. It's now 10-0 Wolverines.
Final 20 seconds of the first quarter in Champaign. Penn State has won 5 of the 6 previous meetings. They haven't met, though, since that Classic in '94, the closest call that unbeaten team, baseball champions, had all year. When at the end of that first quarter, they trailed 21-0. A different story today, despite this 15-yard burst by Holcomb, ended by Nelson.
This is a very good football game right now, Dave. Watch this hole open up, and you'll see why Robert Holcomb was able to pop that long gain. The work up front by the big guys. Good job right there by Radziniak. Good job by 65 Brown, the offensive center. Watch your center right here. This is where the action occurs. Chris Brown is blocking to his right. Boom! Right in the middle of Jim Nelson. Excellent job by the center to find the backside backer. That's not easy. snapping that ball, especially when you're not used to playing center. Chris has moved over from guard in the absence of Tom Schau. Nice job by the big guys up front for Illinois.
They've used their first timeout. Tom Schau missing action again today because of an ankle. Ray Redziniak, a true freshman, is starting at right guard. J.P. Machado at left guard would be the backup right tackle, so they're all over the place. Today on ABC Sports, regional coverage beginning at 3:30 Eastern. Iowa, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Stanford, Texas A&M, Colorado. Check your local listings for the game in your area and call your cable operator for pay-per-view information. Flag is down. Holcomb with the catch, and now there are 2 markers as Holcomb is surrounded at the 35-yard line.
Well, at least one of the holding calls was on Mr. Ryan Schau, number 60. He set his feet when he dropped his man, beat him quickly inside, and he did not want him to hit that redshirt freshman quarterback, Tim Lavery, so he just hogtied him.
.67 right there, left side of your screen. J.P. Machado.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Well, J.P. got a handful of shirt too, but the other one was even more obvious. We missed that, but these guys are bound and determined to keep that quarterback clean, but they're going to have to do it with their hands inside the plane of the body. The rule says you must keep your hands inside the plane of the defender.
Second Illinois penalty of the first quarter, which is now in the books. After 1 at Memorial Stadium, number 2, Penn State, 7-0 over the upset-minded Illini.
Time can be stopped. Timex Ironman Triathlon watches keep going. Kiss me. From the best-selling novel.
Killing's not his ulterior motive. I bet these women are alive. This guy's a collector.
Morgan Freeman.
When it goes down, I need this guy intact.
Ashley Judd.
I'm the only person who's seen this guy. Take me with you.
Kiss the Girls. Rated R. Now playing everywhere.
Plans for nuclear weapons purchased on the black market. Stolen radioactive materials are currently under investigation. Terrorists can make the bomb. The question is, can we stop them? Nuclear strike.
Merlin is my name.
Hey! Excuse me. I didn't conjure you up. Why, no. So I'm back.
Describe Las Vegas in 4 words.
Fantastic, colorful,
Exciting.
fairyland.
Do you like men in armor?
Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the magic carpet.
Sorry I'm late.
Where have you been?
You wouldn't believe it.
Every time we come back, it's something new.
America's favorite playground.
Can I keep them?
Come on, give it up for Las Vegas!
We have a deal.
Today, the best opportunities are global, and so are we.
We see a huge market developing here.
The Equitable, a strong and trusted partner in the U.S.
This combination means new growth for both partners.
AXA, a global powerhouse in 50 countries with more than $500 billion under management.
Have a look at the future.
AXA and Equitable. Global reach from a trusted friend. Equitable is a member of the Global AXA Group.
Ron Turner, in his first year at Illinois, we asked him what he wants people to associate with Illini football.
I'd like people to look at our team and see us as a very aggressive, attacking style football team, whether we're on offense, defense, wide open offense, entertaining team that is very unpredictable.
He does admit he expected the talent level to be a little bit higher than what he inherited. Did not expect it an 0-4 start. But some encouraging moments in the first quarter, and the second begins on a positive note. Holcomb rambling for 15 before he's finally captured by Aaron Collins.
You're going to accuse me of favoritism, Dave, but that offensive center, Chris Brown, did a marvelous job. He just takes Fornadel and just moves him out of the hole, bends his knees. Good work, good hard work by Chris Brown there in the middle, number 65.
Holcomb on his 5th carry, 35 yards.
Young quarterback getting people lined up in the right place. That's good to see.
Quick slant in for maybe first down yardage. McDonald Ashford. 45 is where he needed. He's got it. Junior from Buena Park, California.
It's very appropriate that Coach Stevens, the offensive coordinator for Illinois, is giving Lavery things he can do. 3-step drop, nice throw on the slant. Play calling is making a big difference here.
Lavery, who got the job after Mark Hoekstra proved too mistake-prone for the coach's taste. Huge hit by Justin Kirpakis. Another Miami, Florida State peak. Bill Vito.
Dave, all Florida State. Thad Busby. FSU quarterback rolling. He's got Peter Warwick. We have, of course, Warwick Dunn in the National Football League. This year on FSU, it's a Warwick with a last name. Peter Warwick. In there for the touchdown. They give it to him. 20-0 Seminoles.
Well, easy to get those two confused because they're both usually running past you. Your defender. A loss of 3. And on 2nd and 13, Lavery hangs this one up high and incomplete as McDonald Ashford looks for a flag and he won't get it. Shino Prater, step for step, had the coverage.
Max protection against maximum blitz. The significant thing about this play, which speaks to what's happened in the last week, is the protection is superb. Everybody's coming. Everybody's got a block. Tim Lavery's got to learn to put just a little less air under this ball. As Coach Bratkowski used to say when we worked together, Coach Zeke Bratkowski, put a little less air under that ball on your deep throw.
It is encouraging, though, that protection. 7 sacks last week by Iowa. Holcomb uncovered. And to the Penn State 40, another first. Both Collins brothers on the stop, but not before 18 yards. Lavery to Holcomb.
Coaches sit in staff meetings for literally months and plan how to get the ball to a guy like Holcomb. How can we get it to him without 10 people hitting him? A little check through. Nice call. And a big man in the open field with the football, which is all you ask for.
Anything you ask Robert Holcomb to do, he can comply, whether it's running, catching, blocking, as he does here. Juggled, but hanging on, Eric Garrett. He'll lose one. Let's go down to the sidelines. Dave Ryan.
Well, Dave, thanks. You mentioned that Penn State does not have any Butkus Award winners. Here's one from Illinois. Dana Howard joining us. Won it in '94. Now a member of the Chicago Bears. Got to be nice to come back and watch the Illini play. Good game against Penn State so far.
Well, yeah, it's a good game, and it's great coming back watching my team play. But unfortunately, we're not doing as well as we could be doing. But, you know, Coach Turner's going to turn things around just like he did in Chicago. He's going to get them going here pretty soon. So
you were in that '94 game. That was quite a memory. Even though you lost it, one of the best ever here, huh?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we should have won it, but things happen, and just have to move on. And hopefully, you know, they can do a little better than what we did that day.
Last question for Dana about the Chicago Bears. Kind of struggling up there at 0-5. What has to happen to the NFL team up there to turn it around?
Well, we just have to change things around. Just go at it a little bit differently. Tomorrow against the Saints, and hopefully we can come out with a victory from there. You know, get some confidence going into the second half of the season, into the playoffs.
Man, thanks a lot. Good luck.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, guys.
Well, what a group. If only Ron Turner could have Howard, Kevin Hardy, and Simeon Rice.
Yeah, I think he could probably find a place for those 3 guys.
Probably wouldn't be 0-4. 3rd and 5. As Lavery, sensing the blitz, the quick toss, just enough for the first, McDonald Ashford. Made a good point, Bill. They are keeping Lavery on plays that have a high degree of success. Nothing that they're asking him is too much for a redshirt freshman to handle.
They overcame a big penalty. The most significant thing about this drive is the fact that they used the check throughs, the short throws, the nice fakes, the good ball handling, and the judgment of Tim Lavery to keep this drive alive. And here they are with another first down.
Motion from Whitman from tight end. Holcomb high stepping near the 20 for about 8. The safety, Sean Lee and Collins, combining on the tackle.
Coach Sandusky, the defensive coordinator for Penn State, will not be happy with the fact that his safeties are having to make these plays. But the reason is because the offensive line for Illinois is growing up. They're gelling. Redziniak with an excellent block, number 69. And that look of concern is genuine on Jerry Sandusky's face.
Not a whole lot of size in that Penn State secondary. And whistles before the snap.
This is a tricky call. The officials have got to decide.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Didn't take him long. Some offensive lineman got worked up when he saw Nelson on his way, and that's what veteran linebackers love to do. They get you to jerk just a little bit. We'll see who moved here. It's the true freshman, as true freshmen will do, Redziniak. Actually, we learned from Coach Turner he had a year in prep school, so he's a year older and he's playing extremely well, but he does get in a little bit of a hurry when that backer's coming his way.
His first start today out of Milford Academy by way of Clark, New Jersey. Holcomb cutting back into room, into the clear, touchdown. Well, if Illinois turns their season around, no matter how this game ends up, they're going to point to this drive. What a thing of beauty, and it's culminated on a 26-yard burst by Holcomb.
It's the same play they've been running with a backside guard pulling.
No good on the extra point attempt by Neil Rackers, who was 24 for 24 in his career, and so Penn State still leads by 1. Holcomb right at you, 26 yards to get Illinois within 1.
Best Western on Lake Tahoe features a dock with boat rentals. Best Western, across the street from Ordinary.
What if you could get what you wanted automatically? You can, with the easiest way to earn free gasoline, the Shell MasterCard from Chase. Shell, moving at the speed of life. It's so powerful, it's almost scary. Boom. Muscle car lives. The new Trans Am by Pontiac.
College football on ESPN2 is brought to you by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by the legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac. What an emotional shift after the touchdown. The missed extra point by Rackers keeps it 7-6 Penn State. Here's the kick by Brett Schuplein. Fields on the return, and he is belted at the 25 by Ivory Lewis after a 23-yard pickup. An update on the Syracuse Orangeman, Bill Pito.
Dave, Orangeman quarterback Donovan McNabb has already run in for 2 scores, and look at this. Quentin Spotwood is spotted. He is going to go 94 yards. The school record is 96 yards. That one for 94, 21 zip Syracuse.
And not even a record. Bill, how about that emotional letdown after an 11-play, 80-yard drive, almost 5 minutes? Brilliant burst by Holcomb, and then you're still behind because of the missed PAT.
It's a big-time deflation, Dave. It really is. They'll have to fight back from that, too.
McQueary, play fake and incomplete, intended for Brad Scioli.
Brad Scioli was moved over from the defensive end position. The staff feeling that they needed some help in the tight end position for backup to Big Cuncho Brown, number 82. But Scioli's got to make that catch, and that's what Joe's telling him right now. That thing's got to stick like glue for a big tight end. Unbalanced formation.
Brown, who just moved left to right, now motion from Tikas Pettigrew. After all that, Enos bounces off a hit. Here he goes. Lowered his shoulder, reaches the 40, and I'm impressed with Mike Gusick because he bounced right up. The 239s with a major collision right here.
Enos reminds me somewhat of Herschel Walker in that he doesn't look like he's moving very fast. Believe me, folks, he is. Mike Gusick is a tough guy, and he got drilled there. He was the punishee rather than the punisher.
Not the first to meet Enos in that fashion. McQuary deep all alone. Juravicious. Touchdown. Penn State, 57 yards.
This time McQuary threw the appropriate route. There was not double coverage. In fact, there was no coverage. It was a naked boot. He came out with plenty of time. Juravicious used his deceptive speed. As we mentioned with Enos a moment ago, Juravicious the same thing. He doesn't look like he's flying, but he is.
Mike McQuary had not played that much until this year, but he has got a nice thing going with Joe Juravicious. That is the 6th connection in their careers for better than 50 yards and a touchdown. As Forney's extra point is good. 14-6 Penn State. McQuary and Juravicious hook up deep one more time for the Nittany Lions.
It's so powerful, it's almost scary. Boom. Muscle car lives. The new Trans Am by Pontiac.
Professional builders, people who make a living with their tools, prefer to buy their tools at the Home Depot more than any other store in America. And whether it's the selection, the quality brands we offer, or our guaranteed commitment to the lowest prices, we think it's a pretty powerful argument for why you should shop here too. The Home Depot, where people who know their stuff buy their stuff.
Nathanson Creek.
Joe Juravich with his sixth touchdown catch of the season. Twice Mike McQuarrie has gone deep for points, 60 yards to Fields in the first quarter and 57 this time. On the return by Havard, not much there, just 10 yards.
The touchdown pass again. Now you'll see the quarterback make the fake, come out on the naked boot. Juravich on the deep post, and the free safety should play that. Unfortunately, Mike Gusick is out of position. You can tell he's a little rusty. Here comes our quarterback who breaks contain. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball. He feathers it in there to Juravich, who's gone for the touchdown, and you can see now that burst from the big man.
Line from a hole, and they again call on Holcomb to try and dig their way out of it. Chris Snyder, defensive end, on the stop. Well, if the missed extra point was deflating, how much more so is a three-play scoring drive ending that way?
We have seen this Illinois team fight back again and again in studying the films. They'll have to do that, from the disappointment of the extra point to giving up the big play immediately. These are things that happen in football games.
Holcomb, first down as he drags Sean Lee forward to the 22. Didn't take Juravich and company long, 3 plays to cover those 74 yards. And the average scoring time today now a minute 37. That was less than a minute.
But Illinois has got a lot of good things to hang their hat on and to keep their chin up about here. I know that's not very good English, but that's how coaches feel. They got a lot that they can build on. They just have to keep fighting, keep blocking, and tackle better, cover better.
Very conservative but effective. Holcomb still getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. Maurice Daniels, Brandon Short's back up at middle linebacker. 52, sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia.
Holcomb's great gift is that he locates the opening. It's not always exactly where you think it's going to be. He actually, this play was designed to go to his right. He broke it back because he could feel that daylight, run to daylight, Coach Lombardi used to say.
This time head on, he is met behind the line of scrimmage at the 25, and it was another backup backer, Mac Morrison, 31, right there with Jim Nelson, and you could see and hear this collision.
Yep, this is a percussion. Just hear this. That is a Penn State hit, and it was nighttime. As Robert looked for the daylight, it wasn't there that time.
Really impressed. Gusick got up after his head-on with Enos. Holcomb likewise. And right out into the pattern. Incomplete intended for him. With, again, pressure coming from Mac Morrison.
This is a safety blitz. You'll see the safety coming. You also see Morrison coming, 31. The back had to choose. His job is to block the inside of the two. He did not do that, so Morrison got home and got a shot on Lavery.
Tabloff on for another punt. As usual, embarrassment of riches at linebacker with Collins and Nelson, the seniors, for their last year, but a whole host of sophomores and freshmen behind them. The Lions will start near midfield after a very low short kick returned by Eberle. Just a 31-yarder. Midway in the second quarter in Champaign.
Are you wasting money on spoiled food? Then you need EuroSealer, the amazing new sealer that creates an airtight seal that locks in freshness so food lasts longer. Simply slide EuroSealer along the edge of any bag and it's sealed airtight. It's that easy. Every time you open it, food tastes like it just came fresh from the store. Look, EuroSealer creates a seal so airtight even water won't leak. Amazing! EuroSealer keeps cereal crunchy, chips crisp, vegetables fresh and deli meat delicious. 1 week later, Twist Tie salad is brown and slimy, but Euro-Sealed salad is green and fresh. Now, on this exclusive TV offer, you can get Euro-Sealer for only $19.95. Call now and get Euro-Can free. Euro-Can leaves edges incredibly smooth. You can even reapply the lid. That's a $40 value, all for only $19.95.
To order the Euro-Sealer and receive the Euro-Can absolutely free, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-471-5533. Don't delay. Seal the deal and order today. Call now.
Shootouts, shutouts, and sharpshooters. The playoffs are here, and the title march is on. Conference semifinals, New England versus D.C. Tomorrow at 8, MLS on ESPN2.
Defending champs Iserman, Shanahan, and McCarty lay out the unwelcome map in the Red Wings home opener against the Dallas Stars. Dallas at Detroit, Wednesday at 7:30 on ESPN2.
Penn State by 8, 14-6, 7:11 to go in the second quarter. Let's go to Dave Ryan.
Thanks, Dave. Illinois defensive coordinator Tim Kish told us yesterday a big goal was to avoid explosions from Penn State. And after this play, we'll talk about all the big-time plays so far Penn State has had in this first half.
2 of note. So they've got their touchdowns. Enos weaving his way to the 42, and a gain of 9 for Curtis Enos. There's Tim Kish. Dave Ryan, continue.
Well, Dave, heading into this, the Lions had 25 plays covering 20 or more yards, 10 for scores. As you mentioned, the Fields and Jaravicious TD catches make it 12 now total touchdowns. Amazing they've had against Pittsburgh, Temple, and Louisville. And then overall, you can see the way the numbers have gone in this game for Penn State. The Nittany Lions really doing that exploding thing on offense. It's killed Illinois so far.
And Enos cut this one back easily with the first down gain to the 35. Indiana and Michigan. Bill Pito, an update.
Dave, as Michigan opens its Big Ten season, they're having little trouble with the Hoosiers. Here's Anthony Thomas, 14 yards and a touchdown. Wolverines now up 24-0 still in the first half.
First-year coach Cam Cameron and Indiana. 1 win for them so far. Ron Turner still looking for his first. A lot of encouraging moments, though, in this first half. Especially if they can stifle this drive. McQuarrie off play action. Has Scioli, one of his favorite targets in this first half. 15 yards to the 21 with the tackle there by David James.
You take a look at Scioli on this play, and you'll see the difference. He's lined up here as he gets into his route. This time when the ball arrives, watch his head. His head stays right on that football. He's looking at the football right there. That's how you catch a football. So much better than his last time out.
Brad Scioli, who missed last year medical redshirt with a knee. Well, he dates back to that 94 season. One of only 2 true freshmen to contribute that year. Here is the fullback, Harris, and maybe 1 for Aaron.
I think Aaron Harris, tackled there by David James, number 42, but Aaron Harris, number 25, the fullback, is just as good a runner as Enos. Every time I watch a tape, when he gets a chance to handle the ball, he makes things happen. Now, I know it didn't happen on that play, but remember I said that.
You're not the only one who has said that, and Enos comes in averaging 4.9 per carry. Harris 6.8 per carry this year. There is some evidence he's in that class. McQuarrie with nowhere to throw. And it'll be 3rd and almost 10. Finally, Jeff Weiss was there to get away from Enos's block and bring down McQuarrie.
Well, actually, the protection was pretty good. And the fullback right here saves Mr. McQuarrie from a good shot with an excellent block. I beg your pardon, that's Enos. That's the tailback. I love it. I love tailbacks that block. I fell into the old trap of thinking that it was the fullback.
So 3 receivers. Enos is wide right. McQuarrie deep for Jaravicious. Juggles, hangs on, another touchdown. McQuarrie to Jaravicious.
Touchdown Penn State. The pass block by number 83.
There is very little more demoralizing than to have good coverage And to have a giant reach up and pluck the football out of the air when you're right there, as Asim Plez was. Good protection by Harris, number 25. An absolutely perfect throw, only reachable by Juravicius at his 6'5" frame.
40 for the extra point. Yeah, the throw had to be perfect, and Juravicius had to be 6'5" for this to work, but both factors in their favor, working for another strike from McQueary. 3 first-half touchdown passes. Juravicius has 2 of them.
Jerry, there's too much clutter. Let me know when you've changed.
Change. I'll start with change. Everybody parks, everybody wins.
Whoa.
Keep the change. Dear Kristen, I've changed. One stamp, please. I know I got it. Oh.
One stamp.
Even at the post office, you can do more with the American Express card. You can keep all of this.
Because they're not getting any younger. Because she'll never believe what you just saw. Because absence really does make the heart grow fonder. Because, well, just because. For whatever reason, Sunday is the day you call people the most. That's why MCI introduces 5-cent Sundays. 5 cents a minute every Sunday, if you're an MCI customer. And if not, call 1-800-SUNDAYS.
Gentlemen, I'm going to read you your rights. You had the right to be strong, to be healthy, to shine. The right to make your own choices. And when it comes to your hair, you have the right to choose Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula gets in there, penetrating root to tip, improving it all. It helps keep your hair healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy, it shines. It's the right stuff.
If you're an Illini fan, you had to be worried about that man coming in, because at 6'5", he is at least 3 inches taller than any Illinois defensive back. Victimized the Illini defense twice for touchdown strikes from Mike McQueary, and it is 21-6 Nittany Lions.
David Macklin to hold here in the Midwestern breeze for the kickoff.
Into the wind, but very deep by Forney, and it'll be a touchback.
Sometimes when the ball has to be held, the kicker gets discombobulated and doesn't kick the ball well, but that was not the case with Forney there, number 14. Nice kickoff.
ESPN2's college football coverage continues next Saturday at 12:30, when it'll be the number 13 Spartans of Michigan State marching into Indiana. They'll battle the Hoosiers in a Big Ten matchup. Watch all the action on ESPN2, your home for college football. Big Ten this week, 5 of the top 13 teams in the country, 4 of the top 8. 2 of whom are matched up later today, Iowa and Ohio State. Nicely done. Lenny Willis covered up, but hangs on for 14.
One very obvious thing is Illinois is in a very important drive right here to stay in this football game. These guys on the Illinois team, Lenny Willis most recently in this play, are really fighting to help their young quarterback. His completion percentage is a whole lot better than it was a week ago.
Eric Fox all over Willis. But enough for the first. Holcomb bouncing off his own blocker and can't ever get out of the blocks as Aaron Collins catches up from behind.
This is a case. What happened here is the offensive line is supposed to move the line of scrimmage forward. They were moved backward.
It was Brent Taylor, number 70, the senior from Sikeston, Missouri, who at 312 pounds, just a little bit too wide for Holcomb to avoid. Second down. And incomplete, intended for McDonald Ashford. It'll be 3rd and 10. And with 3:24 to go in the half, a pretty important 3rd and 10 because that's a lot of time to leave even if you don't get the first. I mean, that's time for 3 more touchdown drives the way Joe Paterno's offense is working this year.
Well, the way they've played, and they actually did it to Louisville, they scored some phenomenal number of points in the last 45 seconds. I think 15 points in the half in that situation, and they are so explosive. Big play in the game right here.
Well, that was capping a 50-point first half. Completed out of bounds at midfield for the first down is Rob Majoy, who got belted after a 16-yard floater and a perfect toss by Lavery to beat the coverage by Lee.
Lavery is really impressive. This is the toughest throw in football. This is the outside seam of the 2 deep. You have to lay it right over the top so that the corner can't get his hands on it and get it there before the safety arrives to blow up your receiver. Perfect throw by young Tim Lavery, and a week ago he couldn't do that. He has really improved.
No, a week ago 8 for 31. In this first half 9 of 15 for 88 yards. So already 1 more completion than in the entire Iowa game. Another huge hit. Unloading on Willis. Jim Nelson and Sean Lee also over there.
Superb control, not unlike Steve Young right there, and maybe we're a little premature on that, but there are people who love those lefties. Lavery's growing up before our very eyes.
Raw play, and Holcomb's got some room if he can get outside, and he can't. Could not get away from Brandon Short. Or but just a half step away from breaking that one.
Brandon Short saves a long gain. Look at his face right there. That's how football face is supposed to look. Beat that blocker, sprint to the football, tackle that great tailback in the open field. Great play to bring up 3rd and short.
Former Pennsylvania Player of the Year out of McKeesport. Lavery on the sneak, and this should be another Illinois first.
Tim practiced that play on Thursday at practice. He practiced it again yesterday. He didn't run it very well. That quarterback's got to get his pads down, move his feet, and churn forward. He just sort of leaned, but he made it. He got a lot to think about today, as does that fellow right there, Ron Turner.
So we hit the 2-minute mark in the first half. Illinois once within 1, 7-6. Now trying for a late score and momentum before halftime. What's coming up at halftime, Bill Pito?
All right, Dave, coming up on the Buick halftime report, a complete recap of what's going on in the Big Ten, the Big Ten opener for Michigan, a look ahead to Iowa and Ohio State, and a surprise between Oklahoma State and Texas, all coming up at the half.
The Illini looking at 2nd and 10. Nelson and company standing their ground. Holcomb. That's what they've got to do, is surround him, because the least little cutback lane he gets, Bill, he's gone. But that time Collins was there along with Macklin, and there was no such room.
That's what defensive coordinators love to talk about. Jerry Sandusky is famous for his gang tackling. Football is a game of gang tackling when it comes to the collision aspect. And you just don't get Holcomb on the ground unless you do that.
Penn State wants a timeout. Well, Sandusky had said yesterday one of his concerns was how the interior defensive line, which is not all that big, would hold up against Holcomb. Holcomb's had some nice gains through the middle, but it's Penn State by 15.
Anyway, I was driving over here, and it was just like so funny. I mean, I'm serious. It's just like TV. What?
It makes you so bad. I was gonna explode. Do you have any toilet paper? Yeah, here.
Minute 21 before the half, both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. And Illinois reaching the 36-yard line of Penn State. Another nicely executed march by Tim Lavery in his second collegiate start. And they've done a terrific job converting these third downs. That one intended for Holcomb, who looked as if he wasn't quite expecting it. Pass thrown a little bit behind him as well, and it'll be 4th and 7.
That was one of the few poor throws by the young quarterback. Lavery here, all he's got to do is lay it out there. He throws it behind Robert Holcomb, number 35, and it tips up dangerously. Those balls very often are plucked. They're going to go for it now on 4th and 7.
Probably not that hard a decision for Turner. Down by 15. Who dropped it, would have easily had the first down. That's what happens to teams that are stuck in the rut that Illinois finds themselves in.
If you're an Illinois fan or an Illinois coach, this catch must be made. Must be made. What an excellent call by Buddy Tevens. It's a blown coverage by Penn State. This thing might have gone into the end zone. The key to catching the football is very simple. You look at it. George McDonald, Ashford simply didn't look the football in. Too bad for Illinois.
And you leave a minute 13 on that clock. More than enough time if Penn State chooses to press the issue. They may not here. They may just run it out. Aaron Harris on the first down pickup of 4. They point to things just like that in each of their first 4 losses. If this play had gone differently, if we make that interception, and this time they have the interception.
It is.
Trevor Stargell with the pick, the first thrown by McQuarrie all year.
And Jeff Weiss continues to star out here. Number 53, defensive end, applied the pressure, caused the poor throw. That's Jeff Weiss, number 53. You see on the pressure there. Forces the inside throw. McQuarrie should have led his receiver outside. Didn't have time.
So his streak of 93 passes in a row without an interception has come to an end. Goes back to the 3rd quarter of his great comeback at Indiana last year. Now for Turner, 48 seconds and still 2 timeouts to work with, but Lavery has no room to escape the rush of Chris Snyder, who's joined by Justin Kerpakis.
Kerpakis, number 37, does a roll move to the inside of big Marcus Sullivan. The protection has been superb most of the day. You'll see him come from the inside here, and he will make the hit on Lavery.
Crowd does not like the decision to allow the clock to run out here, not with 2 timeouts in their pocket.
The crowd doesn't understand 2nd and 15, Dave.
Holcomb on his last carry of the half will go to the locker room with 96 yards. But Ron Turner, here's a few boos from people who wanted to see him put it up one more time. They had a game for themselves after pulling within 7-6, but the missed extra point started an onslaught by the Nittany Lions. 3 big play touchdown passes by McQuarrie, 2 to Juravicius. And it's 21-6 for the number 2 ranked Nittany Lions at Champaign over the Fighting Illini. Now let's send you to the studio and Bill Pito.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Coming up on the Buick halftime report, a lot going on. We'll get you caught up on all of it, including Michigan as well as Florida State against arch-rival Miami. And it's only his 5th game, but Tavian Banks could get 1,000 yards for the year already.
powerful, it's almost scary. Boom. The muscle car lives. The new Trans Am by Pontiac.
Six countries, 36 tracks, and 40 different race cars. And how realistic is Grand Tour racing? Let's just say, be careful.
Welcome back, everybody. Bill Pito on the Buick Halftime Report. Halftime of our first game here today on ESPN2. Penn State leads Illinois by the score of 21-6. Michigan opening up its Big Ten season, and during the week, Michigan coach Lloyd Carr talking about how he's not real thrilled with how the schedule works out this year in the Big Ten. It's generated by a computer, and it's the type of situation where not everybody plays everybody else. Iowa is the only team that will avoid two of the other unbeatens, but has to visit Ohio State and Michigan in the next 2 weeks. Ohio State and Michigan have to do without games against second-tier teams. And as far as teams they play, Michigan gets Iowa and Ohio State at home and travels to Michigan State and Penn State. So Lloyd Carr not happy about that. How would his team do? Well, the Wolverines in Indiana. Indiana moving the ball. Jay Rogers trips on the handoff. Whoops! Gets kneed in the head, fumbles. Glenn Steele recovers. Second quarter, Michigan up 3-zip. Brian Greasy to Chris Howard. Takes it on the outside. Touchdown. 10-0 Wolverines. They won 87 yards on 12 plays on that drive. Then second quarter, Greasy to Ty Streets. And that's another score. Michigan at that point up 17-0. And it's 31-0 Wolverines at the half. Michigan has won 7 straight and 22 of the last 23 against Indiana, opening up their Big Ten season impressively so far. Minnesota, Michigan State. Michigan State's first possession, 3rd and 4 from the 5. Todd Schultz hits Octavius Long, touchdown, 7-0 Michigan State. Next Spartan possession on a 1st and 10. Schultz will go back to pass. Gary Scott. And Gary Scott here is a great Scott. Out at the 5. Spartans would score on the next play. That would make it 14-0. And right now, it is 20-0 in favor of Michigan State. Still time left, a lot of time left. In fact, in the second quarter, Spartans have won the last 16 meetings between these two teams. Wisconsin Northwestern on ESPN, the original, later today, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Northwestern coming in a disappointing 2-3. Also ahead today, Iowa and Ohio State, the big game in the Big Ten. Both teams are 4-0, but neither has really played quality competition. This, the big test, the first real test for both, particularly for Iowa. With more now on the game, Chris Fowler and company from Columbus.
Well, Bill, the Hawkeyes have arrived at the Shoe, a place that has been a house of horrors for them in recent years. You know about the 56-7 halftime deficit, their last visit here 2 years ago. The Iowa players behind closed doors talking about payback. The program needs a win like this to get into that Big Ten first tier. But Hayden Fry taking a lighthearted approach to the idea of payback.
Oh, I think when you get your rump paddle like we've been paddled, you hope you never see the guy again.
Well, they're seeing him again in a little while across the street. Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit join me. Statistics at this point of the year, they don't mean a lot. Iowa is the #1 ranked offense for points and yards. What does it mean?
Well, I think Ohio State respects the Iowa Hawkeyes. You're going to find them try to take away and negate the Iowa running game by pressuring, outnumbering the number of Iowa blockers by bringing linebackers up and also the safeties. You got to keep in mind, Matt Sherman is a 3-year starter, has the ability to beat them deep, and in man-to-man coverage, that's the guy to watch, Timmy DeWhite. And on Tim DeWhite is going to be number 11, Antoine Winfield. Typically, Antoine will stay on one side. In this game, he will spot shadow Timmy Dwight, everywhere he goes. I think Ohio State gets it done with the defense.
Kirk, one thing about Iowa, Iowa's 3-0, and they tell you what, they've outscored their opponents 221-46, but their opponents have only won 2 games and lost 13. They're a bunch of cupcakes. This week they play Ohio State. They're as tough as a 2-day-old bagel. Woo! Real tough.
I'll tell you what, a high-scoring game, close game, according to John Cooper. Big Ten Conference has a whole bunch of teams ranked in the top 13. How good is it? Is it for real?
Well, the Big Ten is a lot better now because they've gone out nationally recruited skill, position, and speed. The reason why they did that, they used to go to these bowl games and get outrun by teams. So now they're smart. They go out throughout the country, get speed. That's better.
Yeah, you look at the NFL. Yeah, you look at the NFL. There's speed everywhere from the Big Ten Conference. I think this year we're still questioning how good the Big Ten is. They really haven't played anybody. 2 ranked opponents. That's it.
And the heavyweights start meeting each other. Somebody's going to start dropping in the rankings. That's it from Columbus. Now back to Bill Peta Moore in that seminal Hurricane game.
Chris, thank you. Here we go. Butch Davis trying to get Miami over FSU, but Andy Crossland, punter, dicey situation. Couldn't handle the snap. Seminoles pounce on them. 3 plays later, they'd go up 13-zip. Then Ryan Clement knocked out earlier, had the wind knocked out of him earlier, and here he's pounced on. He was battered all game long. FSU offense on. Thad Busby would find Peter Warwick. And Peter Warwick, last year it was a Warwick with a first name, Dunn. This year it's a Warwick with a last name and a first name of Peter. Peter Warwick, look at this, into the end zone, 23-0 for Florida State. And it remains 23-0 FSU early in the 3rd quarter. FSU has not lost in 30 home games since losing to Miami back in 1991. Coming up, Damian Craig of Auburn tries for his 5th career 300-yard game, and Amos Zeroaway tries to zero in on Rutgers. After this.
The new Century offers the luxury of dual-zone climate control, which does exactly what the name says. So whoever's on the right can have it a few degrees cooler than whoever's on the left, or vice versa. There are many degrees of luxury in the new Century. Dual-zone climate control is just one. You'll also like its cool price.
Discover a little luxury in the Century.
Didn't this training start at 6?
Yeah, where is he? This is ridiculous.
I'm not going to sit here and take this.
Feeling a little frustrated? Tired of waiting? You don't understand what's going on? That's how it feels to fly sometimes. Make it your responsibility to make sure no one feels that way on United.
Compared to the rest of the industry, United is heading in a different direction.
Somewhere between steel strings and skins, there's brass. Over brass and ivory lingers a cinder gray haze. And when that ensemble comes together in perfect harmony, they make up a color called blues. One of the colors between the colors created by Canon. Canon Laser Color. Its only competition is reality.
This halftime report is presented by Buick Century. Discover a little luxury in this Century.
We're back at halftime. Penn State leads Illinois 21-6. In the SEC, the big story so far this season has been the great play of just about every quarterback of the conference. As we take a look, the conference has 3 of its quarterbacks in the top 5 and 5 in the top 20. Peyton Manning, you see, number 27th in terms of passing efficiency, but as we change here, you see that he is number 2 in the country in total offense. Couch is 3 in the country in total offense, and Damian Craig is 5 in the country in total offense. And speaking of Craig and Auburn against South Carolina. First play, Auburn goes for it on 4th and 1. Fred Beasley bursting through for a first down. Next play, Craig finds Karsten Bailey, 36 yards and a touchdown, 7-3 Auburn. Gamecocks go for it on 4th and 2. Quarterback Anthony Wright drops back, sacked by Ricky Neal, and that at that point was 7-3 in favor of Auburn. And on the board, it is now 7-6 in favor of the Tigers. It's Auburn's first trip to South Carolina. South Carolina 11th in the SEC, coming in pass defense. Mississippi State, MISSISSIPPI, zip. Georgia at home leads them 14-0. Mississippi State has not won in Athens since 1956. Arkansas and Florida right here on ESPN2. You're watching number 2 in the country, Penn State, at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can watch number 1 in the country, Florida, against Arkansas right here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Texas, Oklahoma State. Last year, Texas beat these guys 71-14. This year, a different story. Tony Lindsay, the quarterback keeper, in a touchdown. 7-0 Oklahoma State. Still in the first, they're up 15-zip. RW, R period, W period. RW McQuarters. 79 yards on this, a developing situation to say the least. 22-0 at this point, Oklahoma State. Texas wants to know what in the world's going on because Oklahoma State is now up 29-0 in the second quarter. Texas has won 5 straight against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State coming in at 4-0. They haven't played anybody tough, but they're doing it right now against the Longhorns. Rutgers and West Virginia. Amos Zerouay. He had a great early game. 43 yards here. That sets up West Virginia's first touchdown. West Virginia D has been tough. Crooks hit as soon as he gets the ball on that sequence. Looks like a replay is Crooks is stuffed again right away. And then from 7 yards out, Zerouay with the touchdown, and it's 31-0 in favor of West Virginia. Rutgers 0-10-1 in Morgantown coming in and getting crushed here. Rutgers allows 44.5 points per game. They may give up more than that in this one. Virginia Tech leads Miami of Ohio 17-14 in the second quarter. Tech hasn't started 5-0 since 1967. They come into this one 4-0. East Carolina and Syracuse 7-0 in the first quarter. Donovan McNabb, 2-yard option keeper, his second touchdown run of the day, 14-0. And then McNabb goes to the air big time in the second quarter. McNabb spots Quentin Spotwood. Got it. The school record is 96 yards on a pass play. This one will cover 94 yards. Syracuse a disappointing 2-3 coming in, but right now they lead it 21-0 in the second quarter. ECU has won 2 of the last 3 against the Orangemen, but they're in bad shape so far in this one. Pitt plays a wild one against Utah State, and we'll have the Air Force against the Citadel. Yes, sir.
Luminator lights up the night. Free. That's right, free. Get 2 flashing wristbands free with your paid order for Luminator Light Up Football and Luminator Light Up Sport Ball. These puppies don't just glow in the dark. They light up like a bulb for super bright light up action long after other balls are left in the dark. Light-emitting diodes powered by replaceable battery buried deep within safe soft foam provide hours of light up throwing and catching, dribbling and shooting, serving and spiking, passing and kicking. Luminator Light Up foam balls are soft enough for indoor play, but tough enough for serious outdoor action. Call the number on your screen to get Luminator Light Up Football and Light Up Sport Ball with 2 Luminator wristbands free. And don't forget to ask about our new Luminator Light Jam Light Up Basketball Set. Batteries not included. All Luminator products come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Have your credit card ready. Operators are standing by. You must be 18 or older to order. Sorry, no CODs. Luminator Light Up Sports. Leave all other games in the dark. From Kid Power.
BYU playing last night, the TH on their helmets in honor of Terrence Harvey, who died tragically in a car accident earlier this week. Close game throughout. Third quarter, BYU up 1. Matt Sock finds DeMario Brown, and Utah State's up 32-27. After Utah State field goal tied it at 35, BYU comes back. Will Snowden, touchdown, 42-35 at this point. Lavelle Edwards says we have some issues. One last chance for Utah State, 4th and 15, 1:28 to go. Pass incomplete. Lavelle Edwards and BYU hold on, 42-35. Second string QB Paul Shoemaker came off the bench to lead the win. Shoemaker was yanked as a team starting QB 3 weeks ago, but he came in and led the victory last night. The Citadel and Air Force just underway. Zip, zip, zippity-doo-dah in that one. Air Force has won the last 5 games. Clemson and UTEP. 12-7 in favor of Clemson. First quarter activity there. First meeting ever. It's Clemson's first WAC opponent, in fact, since 1980. SMU, New Mexico, right here on ESPN2. It's a 3rd of 3 today on ESPN2. This one will start right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Wake and Virginia. First quarter, no score. Brian Kucklick throws to the end zone. Desmond Clark's got it, 7-0 in favor of Wake Forest. Watch it again. Clark somehow manages to get 1 foot down while falling out of bounds. First play of the second quarter, Virginia down 7-zip. Aaron Brooks to Jermaine Crowell. Touchdown. That ties the game at 7. Virginia's won 13 straight against Wake Forest, but right now Wake is up 10-7. Third quarter activity right there. And we're back with more of halftime after this.
Looking for more space? Try the next Century. It's got the most interior space of any vehicle in its class. Because extra space is one luxurious touch that's appreciated by families everywhere. The new Century by Buick.
Nothing. For a moment, I thought your parents were home.
A new set of academic standards for freshmen is now in effect.
To practice, play, and receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average in at least 13 core courses in high school and a corresponding minimum score on the ACT or SAT. Ask your coach or guidance counselor about the new sliding scale and requirements.
Prepare yourself now. You want to play? Know the rules.
This message provided by the NCAA.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Buick Halftime Report. We have Minnesota and Michigan State. The Spartans have won the last 16 between these two, and they're pouring it on today. Todd Schultz to Cedric Irvin. How did he stay up? We don't know. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown. And Michigan State now leads it 21-0. Still about 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Halftime of our score. Penn State leads Illinois 21-6.
It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Duralube. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub it into the scratch, then polish to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone. GS27 is not an abrasive, and it works wonders on any color. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. It'll even remove paint scrapes and unsightly rust. GS27 is only $14.95, but order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's 2 for just $19.95. Order now.
Call 1-800-346-2600 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping too. GS27, 1000 Apex Street, Department GS, Nashville, Tennessee.
Illinois' Rehabilitation Education Center reaches the half-century mark.
Since 1948, Illinois students with disabilities have earned degrees in many fields, including medicine, law, agriculture, and communications, and have won Olympic gold medals, all because of this program, the first and finest disability services program in the country.
Extra, extra. We're extra proud of you, Illinois.
Fun to be had inside and outside Memorial Stadium. Champaign, where it's 21-6 for number 2 Penn State over Illinois. Welcome back, Dave Barnett and Bill Curry. For a while, this was close. Illinois, which has been victimized by the big plays, had one go their way, and it looked very big when it was 7-6 on the touchdown run by Holcomb.
Yeah, Illinois has shown some really encouraging signs, especially on offense with the play of young Tim Lavery. And then, of course, the big man, Robert Holcomb, who continues to add to his all-time rushing record for Illinois. But too many of these, Dave.
2 of them to Juravicius. This one, 57 yards. And his second score, you add in a 60-yarder to get the scoring underway from Shafi Fields. That's where we are, 21-6. Now down to the sideline to Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. You know, Illinois head coach Ron Turner very encouraged, as Bill Curry said a moment ago, about his first half, especially the way Tim Lavery played on third down conversions. He is concerned, of course, with the big plays that Penn State was able to reel off in the first half, those 3 long touchdown passes. He feels, though, with a good run game, this can be a good second half for Illinois, especially if Holcomb can get loose in the defensive backfield for Penn State.
Well, it got loose a couple of times and ended that first half with 95 yards on the ground. So there is room for hope. McDonald, Ashford, and Havard are deep. But not much they can do on this one, as Forney forces another touchback. Illinois in the first half managed 205 total yards, and with a second game start for Tim Lavery, that is one sign for encouragement. They outrushed Penn State, but they give up 275 yards. Basically the same issue that they had coming into this game they still have, and that is the number of big plays. Fun to be had inside and outside Memorial Stadium. Champaign, where it's 21-6 for number 2 Penn State over Illinois. Welcome back, Dave Barnett and Bill Curry. For a while, this was close. Illinois, which has been victimized by the big plays, had one go their way, and it looked very big when it was 7-6 on the touchdown run by Holcomb.
Yeah, Illinois has shown some really encouraging signs, especially on offense with the play of young Tim Lavery. And then, of course, the big man, Robert Holcomb, who continues to add to his all-time rushing record for Illinois. But too many of these, Dave.
2 of them to Juravicius. This one 57 yards. And his second score, you add in a 60-yarder to get the scoring underway from Chaffee Fields. That's where we are, 21-6. Now down to the sideline to Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. You know, Illinois head coach Ron Turner very encouraged, as Bill Curry said a moment ago, about his first half, especially the way Tim Lavery played on third down conversions. He is concerned, of course, with the big plays that Penn State was able to reel off in the first half, those 3 long touchdown passes. He feels, though, with a good run game, this can be a good second half for Illinois, especially if Holcomb can get loose in the defensive backfield for Penn State.
Well, it got loose a couple of times and ended that first half with 95 yards on the ground. So there is room for hope. McDonald, Ashford, and Havard are deep. But not much they can do on this one, as Forney forces another touchback. Illinois in the first half managed 205 total yards, and with a second game start for Tim Lavery, that is one sign for encouragement. They outrushed Penn State, but they give up 275 yards. Basically the same issue that they had coming into this game they still have, and that is the number of big plays allowed by defense.
That's exactly right. A week ago, the same story.
So the second half begins with a toss to the tight end, Josh Whitman. True freshman who chose not to stay home at West Lafayette, Indiana, and become a Boilermaker. In the first half for Penn State, 5 plays, an 80-yard scoring march, 60 of that coming on the toss to Fields, and of the 3-play 42-second march, 74 yards, 60 yards to Juravicius. Sticks, 51 yards, 2:45. Average scoring time just under 2 minutes. The average scoring time for the season just over 2 minutes for the quick striking Nittany Lion offense. And a quick slant by the nose tackle, Fleischauer. And an ankle tackle behind the line against Holcomb.
What's really tough to do is to run on the field the way Fleischauer did. He didn't show up until just as the ball was snapped, and consequently the Illinois blockers didn't account for him. What Penn State has done is added an extra lineman in the game, expecting Illinois to ram the ball at them.
Fleischauer just taking advantage of a nice running start that time.
Yeah, that's hard to do, hard to time.
So 3rd and 4, short drop and incomplete, intended for McDonald Ashford. His drop late in the second quarter. Really a downer for Illinois, because they still had chance and they had time, they were in scoring range. That ended the drive for Turner in the third quarter. doesn't open on a more hopeful note.
Yeah, and a good job right there by Anthony King, the corner for Penn State, who knocked McDonald Ashford off his route.
End over end job and a low one by Tabloff. And again, Eberle has the Lions set up near midfield, just a 32-yard punt, and that with the wind at Tabloff's back.
A week ago, Tim Kish, the defensive coordinator for Illinois, said that at Iowa, they had 52 plays in which they gave up 86 yards. Then there were 7 plays in which they gave up 315 yards, and that was the difference in that game. And we're seeing a similar development today.
McQuarrie with the give to Enos, who crawls into Illinois territory to the 47. Just 13 passes for Mike in the first half, hit 8 of them, 3 for scores. It's pretty good per completion average when you have 207 yards on just 8 out of 13. Lavery 10 of 19, much shorter stuff, 95 yards for him, and McQuarrie did see his streak of 93 passes in a row without an interception end on the pick late in the half by Trevor Stargell. Rolls, fires it up, and almost a one-handed catch in midair by Jurevicius. Is there anything he's not capable of?
It would appear not. Had Gusick not shown up, number 39 at the end there, and batted this ball, this big guy might have held on.
Of course, he was out of bounds.
It would have been very pretty, no play.
Still fun to look at.
Even though he's 2 yards out of bounds. The rule does say that you can come back in bounds if you're bumped and immediately come back in bounds. That was not the case here.
4 of 6 on 3rd downs. They need 6 here. And look out for Fields, who weaves and will have the first. That was in doubt for a while, but he finally crossed the 40. James Williams combining with Asim Plez on the hit.
Fields right here will come back to the inside behind the line of scrimmage. Nice block, nice screen, and an obvious hold by Jurevicius there that wasn't called. And Fields was able to work himself up the field for a first down.
Mike McQuarrie, who moved to State College, Pennsylvania at age 6, but he was already a Notre Dame fan at that point. Over the middle, intended for Brown and batted away by David James, the middle backer, but he still wears evidence of his early Notre Dame worship, that number 9 jersey, also worn by Tony Rice for the '88 Irish national champs, his favorite player at that point, even though he was not their first choice and Ron Paulus was, making the most of the 1 year he does get as a starting quarterback at a major college program.
That's right, and he's the first guy from State College to ever start for Coach Paterno at quarterback.
Enos got a couple of nice blocks, loping up the side to the 12, first down Penn State. Curtis Enos' second longest gain of the year, 28 yards, 1 less than his best, and John Blick, 78, with the key block.
Nice blocking by the tight side offensive lineman John Blick, Phil Ostrowski, number 78 and 64 respectively. And Dave, you say he's loping down the field. That's what it looks like until you hit him. Then you find out he's hurdling.
Lions have averaged 9.5 yards on first down today. Pettigrew went in motion. First man, Aaron Harris, the fullback. No gain. Danny Clark and Michael Young were there.
Danny Clark, Michael Young, number 48, number 52. Young linebackers that bode well for the long-term future here at Illinois.
Michael, just a redshirt freshman out of St. Louis. Clark, a sophomore from Country Club Hills, Illinois. Enos powers forward inside the 5, stretches for the goal line and got it.
And this will be disputed. But the official has to make the judgment whether the ball breaks the plane of the goal line, the imaginary line that protrudes above the goal line, or whether his knee touches the ground first. So let's take a look. He's just carefully working his way. You see the power as he runs through James, runs through Gussick. And in the judgment of the official, the ball broke the plane before the knee.
Looked like a good call. 7th touchdown of the year for Enos. Forney is wide right on the extra point. His 2nd miss this year. So each team has blown a PAT, but Curtis Enos has the Nittany Lions on the board in the 3rd quarter to stretch their margin to 21.
If I had my way, there would be no punting on 4th down. No throwaway passes. I would never be told to slide or step out of bounds. Safeties would learn to fear my footsteps. And history books would not refer to me as a quarterback, but as a football player.
The Peacemaker is #1 in attitude, #1 in action, and #1 in America. It's a red-hot thriller. Clooney, Kidman, The Peacemaker, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Every so often, something new comes along that makes people go back to rethink. Go back to reconsider. Go back to the drawing board. Introducing the larger, more powerful Accord. An Accord like no other. From Honda.
Time can be stopped. Timex Ironman Triathlon watches keep going.
College football on ESPN2 is brought to you by Honda. Vehicles designed to help simplify your life. And by Timex Ironman Triathlon with all-day Indiglo. It takes a licking and keeps on ticking. 27-6, Penn State. On the 11-yard touchdown run by Enos. Deepest kick yet by Forney, following up his missed extra point. Bill, looked like the snap and hold were good.
You'll see the snap. There has been an absolute, a fancy word is plethora. That's a Juravicious word. Of poor execution with snaps and holds this year. That was not the case here. It was strictly a matter of the kicker not getting his foot planted properly and not swinging his leg the way he should have to get the ball through.
But again, just over 2 minutes to get on the board. Lavery with a play fake. Finds himself in trouble, but shows his mobility and salvages a nice pickup before he is slapped down by Chris Snyder, the defensive end.
Now this time the protection breaks down and collapses in the lap of Tim Lavery. He shows his excellent athletic ability to get out of trouble.
Some of that trouble from his own man there, Marcus Sullivan, 79.
Yeah, Marcus doesn't need to have that big 7 and 9 in his quarterback's face.
Holcomb, pretty effective between the tackles all day. Nearing 100 yards. Brandon Short, 43 there to drive him back.
Now this is a textbook tackle. If you want to know how to get a Robert Holcomb going backward, Brandon Short shows you right on that last play. Number 43 stepped up, got his knees bent, got his pads down, and knocked number 35 straight back. That's tough to do.
3rd and 3. This is where they have been so successful today with the short passes. A couple of drops late in the first half hurt. But for the most part, Lavery has been effective converting 3rd down. So they send Nelson after him. There's another one. Sliding catch by Willis. And they convert another one.
Lenny Willis, number 21, is coming up big for his young quarterback. He's making tough catches play after play after play. We'll see as Lavery sprints out to his left. Tough throw. Nobody can catch it except Willis, but he comes up with it.
Lenny, whose dad Lenny, a member of the Ohio State Rose Bowl teams of the mid-70s. Draw play, and they were ready for Holcomb. He did manage to spin away from short, but reinforcements were there. Jim Nelson finished them off. A Syracuse, East Carolina update. Bill Pito in the studio.
All right, Dave. Earlier in the game, Quentin Spotwood caught a pass and went 94 yards. Here, he's going to go 80 yards down the sideline on this punt return. And Syracuse coming in 2-3 all over ECU, 35-zip.
And a tough year for the Pirates continues. Lavery incomplete, intended for Willis. Passes of 10 yards and longer have not been his strong suit today.
No, Chris Snyder and Courtney Brown, number 91 to 96, apply the pressure here. And I don't think that Coach Turner wanted him throwing the ball down the field very much, as they try to open things up and get into a little bit more of a downfield pass. They are tougher to complete, but he has made some tough throws. Don't forget those sideline throws and those seams on the outside zone, the 2 deep.
Willis is the motion man. Havard split backs with Holcomb. And again, Lavery has to run, but he's got a lot of room. Heads for the sideline, slides, I think, a yard shy of the marker, and a freshman mistake here. He needed the 43 and did not have in mind exactly where he had to get to continue the drive, and he's a yard short.
You give Tim about 2 or 3 more weeks, and he'll know where that first down marker is, even when he's on the other side of the field. And he'll make that first down. He could have turned it back, cut it inside, as we mentioned earlier, and made the first. It's all a part of the learning process.
He has avoided the big mistake today, and that problem for Mark Hoekstra, the original starter, the reason that Lavery has the job. Fumbled by Eberle, and it's loose at the 15 and recovered by Illinois.
That's Ryan Craig, number 25, the special teams captain and the long snapper for this punt team, who's been outstanding in tackling all day long, and now he comes up with the big fumble recovery. Illinois must make something happen here, and it can't just be a field goal. They need to knock this in the end zone.
Only man with a shot was David Macklin. Craig beats him to it at the 13, where it's 1st and 10. Illinois with 8.5 to go in the third quarter. And 3's not going to get it done here. They have got to get the 6, with by far their best opportunity since the Holcomb touchdown of 26 yards in the first half. Lavery under heat, and a diving catch. No, incomplete for Matt Cushing. Even if he hangs on, it's only a yard or 2.
Matt Cushing is a great effort player, outstanding citizen and a leader on this football team, and of course it wouldn't have made much difference had he been given the catch. But what you see is an Illinois team that's fighting. Probably why they call them the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, this is what the nickname people had in mind. Whitman in motion. Holcomb has in mind the end zone, but he's tripped up just as he tries to make his cut in the middle by Chris Snyder.
Just not much blocking up front. Not much work up front. Brent Taylor, number 70, got stuffed, and Holcomb really didn't have much of a place to go.
Not much for Joe Paterno to be upset about today, but he won't like any day a turnover that deep in their own end. They send the house after him, and the Barry Lavery at the 22-yard line, short, the first of 4 white jerseys to arrive on the sack.
All day long, Penn State's been coming with the kitchen sink. Illinois has picked the blitz up well. They've protected well with the 4-man rush. This time was the exception, and Tim never had a chance. Lavery never had a chance to get the ball off.
Will settle for a 37-yard effort, and it is no good for Neil Rackers, who has missed a PAT and now a 37-yard field goal. Nothing for Illinois off the fumbled punt by Eberle.
In a world of change, who can you rely on? Perhaps a company that millions already do. A company whose expertise, vision, and innovation make it a world leader in insurance and investment, managing $450 billion in assets in more than 50 countries. AXA. Here you know us as the Equitable. AXA. Go ahead. You can rely on us.
Honey, you went out for milk 3 days ago. Come home now.
It's just more fun to drive. The all-new Accord from Honda.
Welcome to our family.
He was chosen.
The First Lady's been hit.
He was framed.
Gonna deliver the fugitive to justice.
I didn't pull that trigger.
What are you gonna do?
What they trained me to do. Start a door-to-door search, sir.
They thought they could erase him.
This man dies tonight, gentlemen.
See, now you need to check that attitude, General.
They picked the wrong guy.
I'm a Marine. We don't plan, we improvise.
Keenan Ivory Wayans, John Voight, Most Wanted, rated R. Starts Friday, October 10th.
Well, nothing's gone right for Neil Rackers, and Illinois turns it over to Penn State at the 20, having nothing to show for that terrific opportunity afforded them by the fumble by Eberle. They send Harris off the left side, and he squeezes through for 8 or 9. Down to Dave Ryan.
Dave, Ron Turner's mother suffered from multiple sclerosis, so now the Illinois coach is doing everything he can to battle the disease. That includes his Scoring Against MS program, and the way it works is participants can donate 1 point for dollars for each point the Illini scores. Now, go anywhere from 5 cents for a point they score up to $10 plus for each tally the Illini has during this 1997 season. But guys, yesterday Coach Turner said we got to get more points to get more dollars to battle MS.
But a nice program and a way for him to honor his late mother. Ron, and of course his older brother Norv, the head coach of the Washington Redskins. Following in the same vein as Norm Stewart, the head basketball coach at Missouri, who got a similar program fighting cancer underway last year with the basketball coaches. And he used that for his inspiration. This is Anthony Cleary. Harris is back up at fullback, brought down by Jeff Weiss, who has lived up to billing, very active and effective from defensive end all day.
And some more bad news for Illinois. David James went out with what appeared to be a shoulder after the previous play. So we have to hope that David's okay and that he can return to action. He's been replaced by Eric Gunther, number 41, nephew of the athletic director here at Illinois.
Play fake, corner blitz forced the early pass intended for Cuncho Brown.
Asim Plez
bearing right in on McQueary.
Number 24, Plez, is coming off the corner here. You'll see him right in the face of McQueary as McQueary comes out on the naked boot. He has no blocker. That's the reason that the term is applied, naked. He's alone out there, and Asim forced the bad throw.
Big hitter at strong safety. Back after missing the last game and a half. They missed him. Cordell Mitchell listed third at tailback, a sophomore out of Syracuse. who has averaged better than 8 yards per carry limited action this year. That's just his 9th, but he's already scored twice.
Coach Gander was talking last night about the fact that things had not just popped open for Curtis Enos, but they certainly have for Cordell, who takes advantage because he may be the fastest back they got.
Had better holes than Curtis has most of the year. Taking advantage. 3rd and 5. Pettigrew across in motion. All day from McQueary. Inside the 45. Shafi Fields with the catch, and it's good for 17 yards. Just get the feeling, Bill, that whenever McQueary really needs 10, 15, 20, he knows he can get it.
If you let a good quarterback stand back there this long, you're asking too much of your DBs. It's a simple curl. Chaffee comes up. He probably should have come back for the ball just a little bit more, but a nice passing lane there for McQueary.
Drive continues. Cleary gets another call and hit off the right side by Gunther. As you said, the nephew of Ron, the AD here at Illinois, and their top returning tackler from a year ago.
And what the Illinois defense must do right here is to stiffen, not allow Penn State to build up their time of possession. Illinois has had the ball much more than Penn State. They need to keep it that way and score the next time they get it. But first, they got to get it.
McQueary on target for Scioli. And Brad with another first down outside the 30. Knocked out by Robert Franklin. Illinois 3 years ago among the top 4 defenses in the country, with Rice and Hardy among others. So they have gone from best in the Big Ten, next year second best, 4th in scoring. And then last year the big dip to 10th overall and last in scoring defense, and the same standings through 4 games this year. Unlike Penn State, they've had a couple of Butkus winners in their recent past. Mitchell, and the tackle again by Franklin. But unlike at Penn State, Bill, you don't get people like Howard and Hardy and Rice year in, year out here. Those were special teams, and obviously Turner will have as one of his recruiting projects to try and build back up that type of talent level, but the Turno's got it basically every year.
Precisely, and you must do that year in and year out to compete in the Big Ten.
So on 2nd and 2, tailback Mitchell again with a call, and markers down. Nice open field moves by Cordell Mitchell, who's at the 5. If the play stands, it's 18 yards. May not stand, though.
Nope, it's going to be holding. It's on Floyd Wedderburn, number 69. Coach Paterno is not very happy about it. He's very pleased with Mr. Wedderburn, whom he moved from defense a year ago because of a knee condition. He felt like he wouldn't be hit on the knees as much playing offensive tackle. But what we got to do is teach young Mr. Wedderburn not to wrap people up and drag them to the ground.
Well, tonight on ESPN, there's more Big Ten football, a rematch of last year's Classic. That's Northwestern make another amazing comeback to beat Wisconsin. Don't miss the action tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the worldwide leader in sports. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten from Evanston tonight. Little bit of experience on that sideline. 48 years as a head and assistant coach for Paterno, 30 for Sandusky, 27 for Fran Ganner on that staff. Mitchell makes the catch off the deflection at the 38 and immediately hit by Fred Wakefield.
Oh, Fred Wakefield would love to do this again. He'd love to jump just a little bit higher. His vertical jump there was about 7 inches. He needed to get off the ground just about 3 more, and he's got a pluck for a touchdown. Defensive lineman's dream.
Illinois with a first-year staff, and Penn State, as we showed you, with guys who have been there since well before AstroTurf. McQueary, right before he was hit, throws this one up for grabs, and Fields comes down with it at the 10.
Pass is caught by number 2.
27 yards, and maybe the most amazing catch of the day by Fields. He's put on a show along with Jurevicius.
Number 20, Trevor Stargell, is right there in the coverage. He's coming in from the outside. He's in excellent shape. All he's got to do is get a piece of the ball. He times his jump exactly right, but somehow mysteriously misses the ball, and Fields shows his athletic ability in coming down with it.
Coming into this game, Shafi Fields, on his last 9 touches of the football, had averaged 38 yards, and not far off that today. Mitchell coming back from the right side, and the pile move forward. Mitchell not nearly the size of Enos, Harris, Cleary. They've all got him by about 20 or 30 pounds at least.
The play was stuffed. Alton Thomas of Illinois, the defensive end. That's the power play, the double down, the kick out with the fullback with the backside guard pulling. Cordell was forced to jump outside and didn't have anything there.
Under 2 minutes in the third. 2nd and 8. Penn State from the 9. Nastasi and Pettigrew both wide on the left side. And it's Mitchell on the delay inside the 5. Find out what's happening with Auburn, South Carolina. Bill Pito.
All right, Dave, Auburn's Damian Craig with a 300-yard game will tie the school record with his 5th in his career here to Tyrone Goodson. Spun around, but in there. 14-6 Auburn in the third.
27-6 here as we near the end of the third quarter.
Penn State used a long delayed snap count in an attempt to get Illinois to jump just now. That didn't work, and neither did the play. Good concentration by the Illinois defense.
Niels and Jurevicius, both left side. And McQueary will use the first time out of the second half for the Lions with 58 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Paterno looking to add to a 21-point lead.
World Auto Center brings you the Reedman Experience.
The experience you get when you buy a new car or truck at Reedman World Auto Center. An exciting, enjoyable way to buy a new car. An incredible choice of vehicles at Reedman's 150-acre car and truck center. And Reedman's unparalleled customer service. Why have over 1 million customers made Reedman their dealer of choice? See for yourself at Reedman World Auto Center in Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Reedman, it's an experience you won't soon forget.
The Up to Grave Agency has been insurance for life, auto, business, or home. You can count on Allstate and the Up to Grave Agency to provide you with the service and policies that fit your needs. Our fully licensed staff can provide you with a quote right over the phone. Plus, we offer customer service 24 hours a day. So, day or night, Allstate and the Up to Grave Agency are there to serve your insurance needs. Located at the Oxford Valley Mall main entrance.
Be is fun.
What you do right, what you do is take the body out and the head to the floor. You gotta rip. You gotta dig.
Purcell Miller takes on Raul Frank Friday at 8, only on ESPN2.
Some things that seem to never change in the Happy Valley. Offensive coordinator Fran Gander, his 27th year on Joe Paterno's staff, and he's not even tops in seniority. Sandusky's got him by 3 years. All told, on that Paterno sideline, 200 years of combined tenure. You wonder why they're right there for the national title most years. Curtis Enos back in. He's sat this entire drive, takes to give, heads right, has a touchdown.
That's called fresh legs. Curtis got a break. Cordell Mitchell went in and played for a a lengthy period. Then Curtis comes in and gets the handoff on the power play and takes it in the end zone. And back to that incredible statistic. Nice running here, but a great big hole. The last yard or two, Enos got on his own. But what that says, Dave, is stability. The players feel it. You can almost smell it when you walk into a program. Everybody knows what's expected.
Warney missed his last extra point. This one drifting a little bit to that same side, but tucks it underneath the right upright. 4:34-6. Penn State lead. Second touchdown today by Enos. Playoff baseball continues on ESPN with the Mariners and the Orioles tomorrow, if necessary. Game 4 at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. The American League Division Series. Curtis Enos has finally his first 100-yard day of the season. His previous best was 85, but 14 carries for now, 109 and the 2 scores.
It's not the norm for Coach Paterno to put it back in the game to score a touchdown, but I think he has a little special sympathy for Enos this year in that their games have been such blowouts. He hadn't gotten a chance to carry the ball many times or score many points.
And the irony is, you know, he's talked about as a Heisman candidate. His team apparently is going to be too good for him to have a serious candidacy.
That's a bad problem. And let me change that. That's a good problem to have.
10th time in his career to go over the century mark.
We should add that Holcomb is about to set a record, if he hasn't already, that's never been done here at Illinois with 4 consecutive 100-yard games.
Rob Majoy will return this one from the 5. One block away from a huge return. He ran into his own blocker after 25 yards. Down to Dave Ryan. Dave.
An update on Dave James, the linebacker, star senior for the Illini, suffered a shoulder stinger in that last series. The trainer, Al Martindale, the director of medicine here at Illinois, tells me he will be okay and should be in the next series. Otherwise, Gunther will play at that middle linebacker spot, Dave.
All right, Dave, and there he is.
Really good to see a senior leader and a captain like David James wanting to get back on the field. It's easy for the seniors to kind of cruise in a situation like this. David's not doing that.
Holcomb finding the holes harder to find as the afternoon progresses. He had 20 for 98 yards on the afternoon before this loss of 1.
Number 86, Courtney Brown of Penn State, makes the play. His defensive coordinator, Jerry Sandusky, believes that in time, Courtney can be a dominating player. He certainly was on that play.
A lot of tools. 86-inch wingspan. Mercy, 6'5", 251. Great quickness. Lavery with a toss. Juggling catches made by Matt Cushing, the tight end. The senior from Chicago. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter from Memorial Stadium, where Penn State has it 34-6 over Illinois.
Bill, you forgot the recycling.
Bill's always been one to do his part for the environment. That's why he drives the new LEV Accord from Honda. It meets a 70% lower emission standard than regulations require, without any sacrifice in performance.
Huh? Nice leg!
Thanks, Bill.
I was looking for an onion, a really big onion, a blooming onion as big as your head. One bite of that onion and bam, you were hooked. I mean, you want to have more and more, and you think about them, you dream about them, you just got to have them. And you can't stop, and you go anywhere, no spices. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, I was consumed by that onion. And that onion was consumed by me.
It's easy to get a bloomin' onion. Get to Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
How's about a nice juicy steak to go with that bloomin' onion?
Steak? Hey, why didn't I think of that? I love steak. Big, juicy.
Every Sunday afternoon during football season, I read the opposing team's defenses, but the rest of the time, I read everything I can for news, information, and entertainment. I'm John Elway, encouraging you to read. Read books, read magazines, and certainly read a newspaper every day. Reading will make you more interesting and better informed. Then you'll be ready to be a real star in the most important game of all, the game of life.
Read a newspaper every day because it all starts with newspapers.
Six countries, 36 tracks, and 40 different race cars. And how realistic is Grand Tour racing? Let's just say, be careful.
What time is it?
It's time.
Okay, Tiger, hold on.
Time to think about his future. The Equitable, a trusted partner in the U.S. AXA, a global powerhouse with $500 billion under management. AXA and Equitable, a formula for success. Equitable is a member of the global AXA Group.
Memorial Stadium built to accommodate Red Grange fans in 1924. It only seems as if Joe Paterno coached against those Illinois teams. He didn't actually, but 48 years, what a tenure. And Ron Turner was asked if he could even relate to that type of experience.
It's tremendous. I think that's something in coaching that I know I am, and a lot of coaches are probably envious of. I mean, that's what you look for, and it's rare these days in coaching. You don't see too many guys, you know, go somewhere and stay, you know, 10 years, never mind 30 years, you know, and that's something that's rare and something that's, you know, you look at, that's the top of our profession. I would love to have an opportunity to do that here.
Bill, I don't know if anybody will ever get an opportunity to spend 48 years, 16 as an assistant, 32 as the head man at any program again. Turner in his first year.
Just look at the contrast, 526 games to 5. That's the difference.
Nice catch by Holcomb to reach down ankle high to bring that one in.
This is a marvelous football play. Lavery comes out, delivers the ball so that Holcomb's the only guy that can catch it. Holcomb looks it in on the fingertips. Well-executed football play, as we can all see, but the reason it was well-executed is because the youngster, Lavery, is throwing it on the money, and his receiver, Holcomb, looked it into his fingertips.
Another short drop, quick slant. Lenny Willis has it for another Illinois first down, and this is what Illinois has done well offensively, the quick hitters. Update on Virginia, Bill Pito.
All right, Dave, here we go with Virginia Wake Forest. Aaron Brooks, the Virginia quarterback, scrambling up the middle he goes. Virginia was down 13-7, but now they're up 14-13 in the fourth.
Fighting Illini, trying to get back on the board. Their only points came on a 26-yard run by Holcomb back in the first half, which at the time made it a game, 7-6 before missed PAT. Lavery. Long way to run for a 4-yard gain, and a late hit is flagged right in front of the Illini bench over there. Brandon Short drawing the flag.
Brandon Short in hot pursuit. Doesn't need that little nudge. I'm not even sure he intended to do it, but that is the rule.
But you can't call that a hit.
On the defense, late hit, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, but it's going to be called. Everybody needs to understand that is the rule. If the ball carrier is out of bounds, even one step, you got to go hands off.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, I didn't touch him.
Didn't get my money's worth.
If I'd known they were going to flag me, I would have knocked him over the bench. That's not true. I know Brandon wouldn't say that.
Just the third penalty. Lion defense, though, the last couple of times they've been in this position, they had stiffened last time on a huge sack of Lavery. This one right into the chest of Collins, and he pulls it down. Aaron Collins gets an amazing interception from point-blank range.
And the Collins legend just grows and grows. There have been 5 of them, brothers, that played on this team, and I doubt seriously that any has made a better play than Aaron just made. Now, how does he catch this ball? Don't ask me. He'll be demonstrating for his teammates and his brothers and his mom and his dad and his sisters. He's got 19 siblings. There are 19 children in the Collins family, all but one of them college graduates, and she's a high school junior. So the marvelous Collins legacy continues at Penn State.
This is Everly. That's like catching a blocked punt. I mean, he's about that close to Lavery when he let it go. Well, it all started with Andre in the late 80s. First with the Redskins, then on to the Bengals. Jerry and Phillip, followed by the two that are finishing up their senior seasons. Aaron right there, and Jason.
Joe said when Mrs. Collins calls and tells him what to do in recruiting, he just follows orders.
So you got next for me?
I asked him last night, what are you going to do without a Collins?
Anthony Cleary. Nice ramble of 13 yards. Well, he hadn't had to worry about life without a Collins for 11 years. I'm not sure if he remembers what it's like.
Well, he'll think of something.
Aaron getting his right knee checked on. Third pick this year out of his career total of 5.
Penn State 49-yard line, first and 10.
Trainers checking for stability in the knee.
Cleary again. Down to Dave Ryan.
We certainly hope that Aaron Collins is all right, but talk about the incredible impact the Collins family has had. In all, the Lions are about to be 106-30-1 with a Collins in the lineup over all these years since '86 when Andre broke in with the Nittany Lions. 11 bowl games, 1 national championship, and guys, this is the best of all by far. Over 10,200,000 fans have seen them play in different stadiums throughout the Collins era at Penn State.
That puts it in perspective. They have had some impact on the Penn State program. Everly breaks into the clear and is gone. 47 yards.
Chris Everly's done a good job of returning punts for the Nittany Lions this year. Now he gets the chance from scrimmage and makes the most of it. Penn State heavily substituting now. A lot of their young people are playing, a lot of their backups. This is what Coach Paterno likes to do. Believe it or not, he's actually been criticized for not running up the score. That's just not Joe's style. He's one of the class guys in our business.
Second touchdown this year for Chris Everly, the junior from Beverly, New Jersey. And Ryan Pramonti will be on for his third PAT of the year. Out of Joe Nastasi's hold, and he's 3 for 3. Quicker than normal. This time just a minute 12 on the scoring drive. But again, they strike via the big play, and it's 41-6.
Hey, best man, time for your speech.
I remember Ted's first wedding. He knew his way around. What was the lady's name? Kathy. I feel like I know almost better than Ted.
Don't be a victim of bitter beer. Drink Keystone, America's never bitter beer. Never a bad taste, never a bitter face.
Thank you. Thank you. Whoa. And thank you.
Stop making faces. Drink Keystone.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At National Car Rental, we believe that when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. Because at most major airports in America, National gets you in your car and on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
Let's go!
At BASF, we don't make the boat, we make it faster. We don't make the safety seat, we make it more comfortable. We don't make the studio, we make it quieter. We don't make the golf clubs, we make them more powerful. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
College football on ESPN2 is brought to you by Keystone Light, America's never bitter beer. And by Las Vegas, it's non-stop action around the clock, and we're open 24 hours. Crowd of around 50,000, many of whom remain at Memorial Stadium with a 41-6 Penn State lead. Majoy brings this one from the 2. And is run down by Ryan Arrington, prize freshman recruit, return of 29 yards.
We talked earlier about Floyd Wedderburn and his move from defense. He's going to block down and wash the line of scrimmage down as this play develops that results in the touchdown. Nice job by Floyd. He's learning that offense. He washes the entire line of scrimmage down. Nice block also by Josh Mitchell, that is. True freshman out of Doylestown, PA.
Liberal substitution, to say the least, on that Nittany Lion defense. Robert Holcomb on that give, I believe, setting the new record for the Illini, the first back ever to have 4 consecutive 100-yard-plus performances on the ground.
This is a very emotional time for Joe and Sue Paterno as we see the big plays in this game, 60, 57, 20, and 47. We'll get back to that after this play.
Holcomb, a couple more, give him 103 for the day.
Penny Garvin and Barbara Grubb, 2 dear friends, the husbands of Steve Garvin and Richard Grubb, were tragically lost this week. Friends of everybody at the Penn State campus. I spoke with Sue Paterno this morning, and it's been a very difficult time for everyone there, and our prayers and sympathy go out to the Garvin and the Grubb family and the entire Penn State community. Tough time for Coach Paterno and his team.
This one's not picked off, but it's batted down by Justin Krapakis at about the same distance as the Aaron Collins interception on the last series, and another 3 and out. Krapakis, redshirt freshman out of Pittsburgh. He will stay in on the punt coverage unit. Tablock handles a high snap, but not much of a kick. Off the side of the foot and marked out at the 39. Just 23 yards. 11:30 still to go in Champaign, Illinois, where Joe Paterno has another win just about in the back pocket.
5, 6, 7, 8. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. On your mark, get set and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way. Yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. We'll do it our way. Yes, our way. Make all our dreams come true. For me and you.
It's your first company picnic.
Nice tie, sir.
Time to advance the old career.
Nice party, boss.
And get a little FaceTime with the boss.
Nice scalp, sir.
Don't let bitter beer stand in your way. Drink Keystone, America's never bitter beer. Never a bad taste, never a bitter face.
Have you met my daughter?
We've met all right.
Stop making faces. Drink Keystone.
The Peacemaker is a red-hot thriller. Ray's Rolling Stone. George Clooney is a true action hero.
My enthusiasm sometimes gets the best of me.
And Nicole Kidman is to die for. The Peacemaker, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Hey, this is hands-on coaching right here. Watch Joe Paterno. He knows exactly where that punt went out of bounds. Right up here about the 42. Ah, come on.
The guy doesn't speak Brooklynese. That's the problem. You think Joe's not in this football game?
New quarterback and a missed exchange with Kevin Thompson. in to replace Mike McQueary. Thompson, a sophomore from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Great high school career there, won a state title, 35-6 overall as the starter. And limited action this year, 5 of 16 for that 76-yard total.
As a head coach, you want your young players to get in the game when you get a chance to get them in. But what you don't want and what you won't tolerate, I know Joe won't, is sloppiness. Missed center quarterback exchanges, not acceptable.
Sam Crenshaw, 13, was the motion man, as Cordell Mitchell weaves to the 43. Joe Lausen on the tackle. Final numbers from McQueary today: 13-21, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, and his first interception of the year. So he should not hurt his number 4 national ranking among all passers.
Number 66, Chance Bright, is in at the center position. He snaps the ball left-handed, and that's a little bit different for the QB. May have been the reason for the problem.
Corner blitz was coming, incomplete. Intended for Wes Dahlem, number 81, and 3 and out. First time Thompson gets a series.
Chance Bright, number 66, looking for somebody to hit. Where are you? Come on, give me a blue shirt. Oh, there you are. I finally got in the game.
Pigeon remains the punter. Just about everybody else has had some relief today, but not him. They went after him. Beauty, though, killed at the 4 with a sideways bounce, and finally at the 3-yard line is where it is downed by Nelson. 54 yards, just perfect. And Turner and the Illini on the short end of a 41-6 count will start from near 3 when we come back to Champaign.
Are you tired of playing Twister with messy rope, tape, and twist ties? Then you need the Handy Bundler, the world's first endless tie wrap dispenser. No matter what the size, Handy Bundler tightens to a perfect fit every time and secures anything as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now neatly wrap cable and TV wires for a better appearance. Tie garbage bags tight in seconds. Look, ordinary tie wraps just aren't long enough, but the Handy Bundler's cord extends to any size. Large or small, it wraps them all. You'll find hundreds of uses for the Handy Bundler around the shop, at home, in the office, and on the job. You get the Handy Bundler, over 50 feet of durable nylon strapping, and 100 locking clips, all for $19.95. And it comes with this unconditional money-back guarantee. Order now.
Call 1-800-897-6699 or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to the address on your screen. For faster delivery, call 1-800-897-6699.
Professor Sterling Sharp is conducting research at Bristol University's Theoretical Football Laboratory.
The computer's running various scenarios based on if the United States was invaded by Canada. And consequently, the CFL absorbed the NFL.
And what about the 110-yard field differential? Do it again.
Professor Sharp.
Yes.
The results of the Brett Favre staying in Atlanta scenario.
Interesting. June Jones named Coach of the Year.
41-6, and when things don't go right, they really don't go right. Illinois with that punt downed right where it hit, just outside the 3. Lavery throwing from his own end zone and incomplete, intended for Elmer Hickman. Well, it is a big week. It's been a big season so far for the Big Ten Conference. You have to go back to November of 1960. Last time 5 from this league were in the top 15. Then it was Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Purdue, Minnesota, the eventual national champion that year. And this week you got Penn State followed by Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and Michigan State. 4 of the top 8, 5 of the top 13.
The Illinois coaching staff is very wisely keeping their starting offensive line on the field because they really need the work to solidify. They're not coming off the football as crisply as they did early in the game, and they'll be able to see that as they watch the tapes. Chris Brown still in there at center, the only married player on the Illinois team. I had the privilege of meeting his lovely wife, Manya, on Thursday. Chris making an excellent contribution along with his family.
Lavery from right at the goal line, and incomplete. Intended for McDonald Ashford. Ascari Adams went up and almost had himself an interception.
Ascari's first name means African warrior, and he played that too deep exactly the way you're supposed to play it. He got there. Lavery makes the nice throw, but you'll see number 18, Adams, come off the hash and very nearly make the interception. That's what a boundary, or rather a deep safety on the two deep, supposed to do.
Much better this time by Ryan Tabloff. Heavily driven back. And then caught from behind at the 43-yard line by Ivan Benson. 52-yard punt. Presenting the college football package that can't be duplicated. ESPN Game Plan for $11.95. You'll see up to 10 great college football games each Saturday, not on TV in your area. Call your local cable operator or DirecTV. Bill, with all the highly ranked teams in the Big Ten, one of the issues to date that on the minds of Penn State fans, this carry by Mike Saramelli, is how can they get back on top of Florida? Florida with the big convincing margin over Tennessee, able to leapfrog Penn State, and now #1 in both polls. Joe Paterno doesn't care. He's, of course, as usual, just pointing toward the Rose Bowl, and the rankings will be what the rankings are then. But he's going to have plenty of chances, and beginning next week when they go home and host Ohio State, to have that type of impact that Florida had. If they have a similar result against some of their ranked opponents in conference play down the line, then a lot of people have got to reconsider Penn State as the #1.
Yeah, we'll get to that after this play here.
Mitchell diving just shy of the first down.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Kevin Thompson, the quarterback. He had no protection from Plez. Number 24, Asim Plez, came clean on the safety blitz and hit him right between the 1 and the 6. He got the throw off on pure courage. There's not an easy answer to your question, David. We'll talk about it after this play.
Thompson trying to draw somebody offside.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was doing.
Didn't need to. Cleary making it with a lot to spare on his own.
You got to remember that the Gators are the defending champs. And when they beat Tennessee, as we said in the open today, they vaulted up to the first spot because coaches who vote in the poll are impressed with results and on-the-field activity. As you say, Penn State's going to have to beat the people that they play that are highly ranked, and Florida's probably going to have to lose, to be blunt about it.
Size the two teams up. Offensively, they would compare very closely. Everly inside the 20. The biggest defense on paper, Bill, would appear to be on defense, where Florida may be the class of the country.
They would certainly appear to be. We haven't seen them play, but they've got big, fast people. You got to remember, too, that Florida led the Southeastern Conference in defense 8 times in the late 70s and the 80s. That was before Spurrier got there. So they've always had great defensive players, and now Coach Stoops doing a good job with them, and they are dominating.
Lions have dominated here from the second quarter on. Play fake. Thompson. Ball is loose on the sack, and Illinois indicating they've got it at the 28. Fred Wakefield is the man who separated Thompson from the ball, but it is a Penn State recovery.
That was a coverage sack. The secondary did an excellent job of covering. The rush took a while to get there, but finally Fred Wakefield, who's really going to be an outstanding player, He's the guy who almost picked off the interception earlier in the game.
Michael Young should have had that recovery. He had first crack at it, but Jordan Caruso took it away from him. Earlier today, McQuarrie's first interception of the year. Everly also fumbled the punt. That one batted away by Eric Gunther.
And at the all-important center position, we have our third center of the day, Francis Spano, number 62. Nice thing about being in a program where you get to play, it encourages you to continue to improve.
Penn State today -1 in the turnover comparison, but look, over the last 5 years, nobody is better. Plus 42.
They have led the nation. They came into this game plus 43.
And they'll go for it on 4th and 10. Eberle. Well, a nice game effort as he reached forward at the 20, but he needed the 18, and Illinois will hold on downs with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Long afternoon for the Illini, who will see their losing streak extended to 11. Only Northern Illinois and Iowa State have longer streaks.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. On your mark, get set and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way. Yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. We'll do it our way. Yes, our way. Make all our dreams come true. For me and you.
Hey, best man, time for your speech.
I remember Ted's first wedding. He knew his way around. What was the lady's name? Kathy. I feel like I know almost better than Ted.
Don't be a victim of bitter beer. Drink Keystone, America's never bitter beer. Never a bad taste, never a bitter face.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you.
Stop making faces. Drink Keystone.
Body of a pickup, soul of a race car, horsepower by the truckload. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series presents the Kragen Exide 151, live from Sonoma, tomorrow at 6, only on ESPN2.
At one time, 51,553, biggest crowd of the year on hand in Champaign. Lavery remains the quarterback with 6:04 to go. 41-6 for the Nittany Lions, and Lavery has nowhere to go at the 15-yard line. Let's go down to Dave Ryan.
Well, Dave, it's not often that one college campus is located in 2 different cities, but that is the case here at the University of Illinois. Now, behind us is Champaign, Illinois, a city of about 63,500. That's where the stadium is, and Assembly Hall, where the Illini basketball team plays as well. And right next to us, the other half of the campus is located in Urbana, Illinois, a city of about 37,000. Who says St. Paul, Minnesota, and the University of Minnesota is the only Big Ten school in the Twin Cities, Dave?
Not me. Another sack of Lavery all the way back at the 7 this time. And chasing him down, Imani Bell, sophomore from Philadelphia.
This is not good for Illinois, obviously, but more than meets the eye, because the O-line is still out there. The veterans, they ought to be protecting much better against these young players. They've got to keep their feet moving, keep their heads up and their hands up, protect Lavery, let him finish this game.
Draw play. That ends abruptly for Havard at the 14-yard line. Even the backups deal out some punishment. James Boyd that time. Wake Forest, Virginia update, Bill Pito.
Yeah, Dave, Wake Forest is down 1 late in the 4th quarter, deep in their own territory, trying to get something going, and Brian Kucklick is picked off by Joe Williams. And Joe Williams has got the interception. He ices Virginia's victory, 21-13.
Once again, from his own goal line, the Tablock punt. This one returned by Joe Nastasi. He's seen some of the hardest hits of the afternoon, with the issue long since decided here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I like Ryan Craig, number 25. Great rule that's been added. You can't hit the long snapper in the head anymore. A little bit late for some of us. Craig's made tackle after tackle today. Number 25 coming down the middle of the field. Nastasi back up the field. Nastasi normally plays considerably more than he has today. Don't know if he's been nicked or maybe if he's not feeling so good, but he got hit there.
And another new quarterback, Rashard Casey, redshirt freshman, Hoboken, New Jersey. ESPN2's college football coverage continues next Saturday at 9 with a WAC showdown. The number 24 BYU Cougars roar into Houston, and they'll try and stop the Owls' potent, nationally ranked running attack out of the triple option. Watch all the action on ESPN2, your home for college football. Rashard Casey out of Hoboken, New Jersey, selected to 7 different high school All-America squads. Even though he threw only 72 passes as a high school senior, but he rushed for better than 13 yards per carry for a 2-time New Jersey State champion. A lot of ability. Throws this one incomplete, intended for Tony Stewart. And after McQuarrie finishes up this career of his this year, you got Thompson and Casey, who will do battle for next year's starting quarterback slot. Casey with more headlines perhaps coming out of his high school career, but coaches say don't discount Thompson. That's going to be quite a war they have next year.
And that's when your program is deep and talented. You have competition for playing time. That's the greatest motivator.
Casey again having to scramble. And runs out of room before he throws the interception. And a flag after the interception by Mike Gussick. Don't know whether he was still in bounds when he threw that pass. That may be what they're discussing here.
His coaching staff, regardless of the outcome of this play and penalty, will use this situation to teach Rashard, lineman downfield. The penalty will be declined. They'll use this to teach him not to throw the ball back across his body.
Maybe just barely still in bounds. I guess so.
You don't want to run to your left and make that kind of throw, attempting to throw back all the way to your right. Nothing is on the ball, and very seldom does anything good happen.
Well, the man pointing the finger across the line, Greg Ransom, 77 for Penn State.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And he's exactly correct.
The rule says if the offensive man moves without the defender being in the neutral zone, then the penalty is against the offense. If the defender moves into the neutral zone prior to the offender moving, then the penalty's on the defense. That's a new rule just this year.
Lavery. Short gain by Elmer Hickman. Back up at fullback. Ron Turner uses the fullbacks only as receivers in addition to blockers. Neither Garrett nor Hickman with a carry all season. But they are frequent targets in the short passing game. Illinois outgained at the half by just 70 yards. But a lot worse than that this half as Hickman reaches the 35. Penn State 519 total yards on their afternoon. This one goes for 16 for the Illini.
Illinois going without a huddle now, and the check throughs continue to work. We've explained how that works with the back checking his responsibility out of the backfield. This time Hickman doesn't get to his responsibility. Not a good throw by Lavery.
And in and out of the hands of LeVar Arrington, the National Player of the Year by Parade Magazine out of Pittsburgh, number 11, prize recruit.
LeVar's a true freshman who's already excelled on special teams. I like to sit and study the kicking reels, and I picked him out as a man who hustles down for Penn State.
Maybe their next great linebacker. Havard breaks one tackle, and then Arrington literally flies over from the middle of the field to make the hit at the 28. Just launched his entire body. He's not playing all that much as a true freshman. You're not going to for a Penn State defense, but he's making every effort to get noticed when he is out there, isn't he?
He's just got so much talent. It's latent, and he'll have to learn, and he'll have to learn to bend his knees and what angles to take, but he's got great teachers on the Penn State staff.
Arrington playing behind 3 Butkus Award candidates at linebacker. Only North Carolina and Mississippi can say that. And there's one of them, Aaron Collins, number 6. Among his deeds today, a point-blank interception. Amazing play. That one is ripped away from McDonald Ashford, and almost another pick. This one by David Macklin.
That play was broken up because Macklin alertly got his hand in there. DBs practice this. Good defensive back coaches teach their men to get your hand in there, and even if the receiver makes an excellent catch, you jerk the ball out. That's exactly what happened with Macklin there.
Macklin, like Tikas Pettigrew, 2 sport athletes last year. They helped out Jerry Dunn's injury-plagued Nittany Lion basketball team. Incomplete. Intended for Hickman on 4th and 3, and the Lions have it with 1:50 to go.
In the West Coast offense of Ron Turner, the fullback must be able to catch the ball, so they'll work with Elmer, and he'll get this catching down.
Illinois headed to 0-5. Penn State will be 4-0 heading into their meeting with the Buckeyes.
I never met a quarterback, never met a quarterback I like.
I want to take him out. It's sissies. They're a bunch of pretty boys. Pretty boys. No ifs and buts about it.
A bunch of, watch out. They're easy to intimidate. I can taste it when I hit them hard. Easier to dominate. Just a bunch of prima donnas. Take out the prima donna. Prima donna. That's what I'm paid to do.
I'm just shocked they know the word prima donna.
America has always had a love affair with cars. And since 1922, we've been there whenever you've needed us. That's why we're America's favorite auto insurer.
And as we celebrate a 75th year, we, the agents
and employees of State Farm,
would just like to say thanks for being there too.
Mike McQuarrie looks like Richie Cunningham's little brother, doesn't he? Well, he's also the National Car Rental Player of the Game today for 13 of 21 through the air, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, his first interception. Tim Lavery for Illinois, 18 of 37 for 167 yards in just his second collegiate start. Our National Car Rental Players of the Game. Cordell Mitchell carries. You would think Illinois would just leave those 3 timeouts in their pocket. Let the clock roll out. Penn State doesn't mind going away from the grass of Beaver Stadium. Only lost in the last 28 at Northwestern, which doesn't have turf anymore with the rebuilt Ryan Field, now sporting a nice grass field.
They probably saw that stat and got rid of it.
Mitchell stumbling forward to the 42. Could have been more.
Coach Paterno's son, Jay, who was a graduate assistant at the University of Virginia when my son was there, they called him J-Pa. J-Pa may be calling the plays right now from upstairs.
Joe-Pa and J-Pa.
That's nice running by Mitchell there, but he made a couple too many moves. Looked like he might break it for just a split second.
Everly. Well, these Penn State backs will not go down.
Well, Everly's a load. He's a big guy. One reason Joe likes him returning punts is because he can run through tackles. He's done that every time he's gotten the opportunity today.
Everly's big game against Indiana. Also, McQuarrie's coming out party last year had 110 yards with Enos out with a shoulder injury. Penn State displaying depth, speed, big play defense, and offense today en route to their 4th win without a loss in 97, and that carry by Everly ought to do it once they move the chains. Joe Paterno, his 293rd career win. Tops among all active coaches. Headed toward his 71st birthday in December. People who have followed him for years like you swear he hadn't aged since about age 40.
He looks the same as he did when he was 40 years old to me. He's a wonderful football coach and a wonderful person. You have to be happy for him. And Illinois showed signs today. I think Lavery in particular showed that he's going to be able to do this job for Coach Turner. The team played hard. Even though they were beaten, they can build on it.
So the Nittany Lions finish it off 41-6. They go home and get ready for Ohio State next week. Should still be number 2, 4-0 for the season. Coming up next, the Firestone Indy Lights Championship. Now for Dave Ryan and Bill Curry, Dave Barnett saying so long from Champaign. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in.
Occasionally, one man's opportunity and destiny converge under his control. At issue today, the PPG Firestone Indy Lights Championship. The man in control is Brazilian Tony Kanaan. San Bernardino Mountains is an area called the Inland Empire. It's where the Penske Empire has carved its latest shrine dedicated to speed, the California Speedway at Fontana. Here today, the fastest field in the history of Indy Lights will close the season and crown a champion. Hello, everybody. I'm Chris McClure. Welcome to Fontana. In just a little while, less than 100 miles from now, the 1997 PPG Firestone Indy Lights season will find its defining moment. We will crown a champion. Now, we do know he will be Brazilian. We do know he will be from the Tasman team. It will be either Tony Kanaan, who leads the points, or his teammate, Helio Castroneves. With us again is Jan Beekes, and you know, back in 1988, this fellow clinched his championship in the Indy Lights at Miami, the season's last race, by the narrowest margin ever. You know this drama. What are those guys thinking of?
Well, Chris, that was the most nervous day in my racing career, maybe the most nervous in my whole life. And I know that Tony Kanaan is feeling the same way as we speak. But this is on a super speedway. You run over 185 miles an hour, so you might as well just throw away the qualifying sheet, because it's not about how fast your car was in qualifying, it's how can you draft. The car ahead of you breaks the air. It'll be similar to NASCAR style, and if it's anything like what we saw in Michigan last year, it'll be an awesome race, Chris.
It really was an awesome qualifying. Huge speeds before someone claimed the Sea-Doo Ski-Doo pole. Here's Gary Gerald.
Well, Chris, the last time we saw Clint Mears in this situation, he'd won the pole on the mile oval at Milwaukee, and he went on, of course, to get the victory there. Clint, here you are now on a 2-mile oval, speeds like we've never seen in Indy Lights competition. Are you at all concerned about the big numbers that everybody's running in comparison to what you ran in the mile when you won?
No, not at all. Actually, when you're on a big track, wide open track like this, you really don't notice the numbers and you don't notice the speed unless the car gets sideways or it pushes up to the wall. Then you really start getting a feel of how fast you're going. But when the track's so big like this and you have so much room, you really don't notice the speeds at all.
Now, you start out front, but is this going to become a drafting race even from your standpoint?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be. There's not going to be anyone that's going to run away with this. David looked pretty strong this morning in the warm-up just now, and he drafted on me and got by me, and he looked pretty strong. It was hard for me to run him down, but there's going to be anyone that's going to pull away. I'm pretty confident in my car. It's running strong, but it's going to be a tough race out there today.
And it's going to be exciting.